we're spending more time, it can be like reactions to the questions.
Yeah,
That's stupid. What are you talking about? How are we supposed to know?
We can't let it drag.
That's ridiculous. I'm going to be heckling you guys if you're not going quick.
Yeah.
And you guys have failed incredibly on every single question. No one would have thought it was possible with multiple choice and only 2 choices, but they did manage to pull it off. Much like
what we
Europe.
can say? American education system at its finest, folks.
Well, you know what we can actually say is that, you know, on average, we get 2.5. If we got 0, maybe we were just throwing on purpose, and actually we knew all the answers.
We've all seen that Spider-Man movie where he's intentional and the teacher circles the paper. That's me and Ox.
Yeah,
all
that
planned.
sounds right now.
Just to give you 1 win today, Isaac. Anyway, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Team Liquid, KC, another edition of EU versus MSI. I'm going to say something crazier than that. The only thing that matters. Blah, blah, blah. Let's start with the numbers. Let's start with the facts.
Wow.
EU 18, NA 12. What have you got to say to that?
How about over the last 3 years? What's the record? Do you know, Dracos?
Of course I don't.
Do you know, Ox?
Why would I need to when the overall record says everything I want it to?
Ancient history. You're talking about cavemen painting on walls. You're talking about Xpeke. I'm talking about 6-1 in the last 2 MSIs that NA has over Europe.
Something, something. Okay, good to know.
Who cares about EG losing? That guy has Jojopion. That's a European player. Why do you think we lost?
What are you talking about? Can we? I should have brought a clip from years ago where you're just praising Jojopion or Busio.
Never heard of him.
One of the endless clips where you're like, you guys don't understand. Busio was so good. Please give him the credit he deserves.
A bunch of bums. That's what they are.
What MSI his?
Okay, so this is the most recent. This is Spawn versus Europe. He said it right after they qualified actually in the LCS in playoffs that he's never lost to Europe. He 3-1 Fnatic at MSI 2024. And at first stand, TL also won. I think he also won at UWC, but don't really care. And yeah, we're hoping he's going to continue his incredible record. Spawn versus Reaper, the coaches don't play the game. Why are we bringing up coaches?
This is looking less incredible.
Who cares about coaches?
I like
coaches?
This. Whoever brought this up is great. Thanks. I didn't even know what my arguments were. Now I've got my arguments.
Disgusting.
Yep. Sick. That's my counterpoint. Great.
Also, this is when Reaper was in NA, so he was technically an NA coach. That's why his record's so good. Now that he's in Europe, he's unfortunately a European coach. As such, he's,
NA coaches have a 50% win rate against other NA coaches.
Sorry,
that's facts.
I'm
Except
sorry.
actually, I mean, Europe really, when you think about it, all your top teams are carried by North Americans. Busio, best player on KC by a country mile. MKOI, Jojopion, face of the team. G2, Dylan Falco. He picks the champions for him. Famously told Caps he needed to play Vayne mid.
That is the exact opposite of
Famously told Caps.
Do we really want to
The
go?
clip.
I don't think we want to go into where our players originate from. I don't know if that is a winning angle in the long term.
We've already done it.
We've already done it. We want
It's
to talk
already been
about.
done.
Well, I'm just frankly glad that the vast majority of your players won't have to go far to get home after this tournament, will they? It's just an hour train to Seoul, isn't it? Or a couple hours to Busan.
Kana can show them the way. Kana and Yehu. Yeah, buddy.
It's fine.
He's got a point.
No, I'm with it. I just need more caffeine. If I didn't realize you're already ready to go, I'm like, I don't know. You're prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you like that? Just like TL.
It's like TL.
Yeah, and you're just like KC. Not
Hanging
prepared.
Out, vibing. Hey. May be fair. We will find out.
Hey, wait a second.
Okay, so we have that. What is the MSI history assets?
The MSI history assets were the ones that we just watched.
Okay, so that's just the overall thing.
Cool.
I think it would be good if whatever we do to end the MSI history, Isaac and I just scream at each other, and then Ox, you go like, do you guys actually want to talk about League of Legends? You like shut us up, and we're like,
okay,
whatever.
okay.
And then
No,
move us
I
in.
don't.
It's like, I don't think we need to, right? I think it's pretty clear cut who's going to come out on top, but then we go use that to transition into, let's hold back, right? It's not just about what we think. Let's talk about the actual gameplay, the actual mechanics.
That is very relevant, actually, because
it does seem
this is
important.
League of Legends.
Isaac, why don't you start? Who do you think matters here?
Jose Diodo, famously Canadian,
Famously.
loves maple syrup. We saw it. We saw it on his introduction. Cats or dogs? He chose option 3, beavers. And he loves being in the jungle with his fellow animals, where he's dominating the opposition, just like players such as Owner. Absolutely crushing him. Jose has been smurfing.
Ox, you're my voice of reason here, just so that everything that comes out of our mouths isn't.
I mean, I think probably in a real one, maybe for this we can talk a little bit about it. Seriously, I don't know.
I think I would say one short jab max per clip / point, and then just
for
move into
this because
actual
this is the only
analysis.
analysis. I'm going to actually talk about. Jose has been killing it. Blah blah blah.
And I think you bounce in whatever way feels good to you. I can follow up.
The only thing he's really been lacking on is the smites in that first series, but I feel like the play in general has been solid. The poppy
Owner
value
got to train
was
against Gumayushi. It's not really fair.
Yeah, that's
right?
It's very true.
Am I right?
Yeah,
it's very true.
Yeah.
But I am going to say that.
It's an excellent training partner.
Love that. Would love them full screen.
Bring them up.
Full screen, yeah. We'll just have that lower third up throughout the whole.
This is from game 2 versus
That's great.
Game 1.
Those are very good stats. What do we mean? 1,000 gold ahead. That's
That
true.
does.
I
That's
think
fixed that.
it would have been better if he had 369 as his KDA.
True.
Anyway. Yeah, we 100% we keep them. These are sick.
Because you're like, yeah, Yike did
Yeah.
well against T1 too.
Got
Good
some good early
6K
momentum.
plus A of 14. This is a man who can get stuff done on the map. Doesn't have
Good-
to wait for everyone else.
Good early momentum.
let's talk
got
about
a
people who
lead.
can't get
hit a
stuff
brick
done.
wall.
Let's talk about
Oh my god.
the struggle situation on the bottom side of the map. Now, as much as we're both homers, Azeo, I think we have to agree that fortunately for both
Daejeon
our
is
teams,
better
this
than
matchup.
Gliss,
No,
yes.
stop. It's been a struggle for both of our AD carries.
Our regional stars, it is tough, right? You know, Jan, I think over the last couple of years, 23, 24, 25, to me, was so consistent. He was, you know, the best part of TL all last year, even when the team was really struggling. And this year, he has not been able to get to those same levels. I will say, really, really, really rough series against T1, especially Game 2, Game 3, where they were in winning positions. I thought he was mispositioning a lot. But that being said, against D-Cross, I think he had a bit of a bounce-back series. His Ziggs game, I thought he played really, really well, and his Lucian's game had some really good moments, so I'm hoping he can build some confidence.
I think T1's bot lane is just extremely fearsome and hard to play against. That was demonstrated when both of these AD carries went up against Carrier and Pays. And there was later mistakes. That was the thing that I was really worried about, is in the team fights. There was some major moments, step-ups, flubs that kind of cost them some bigger fights. So there is good news. Today, they can't both lose lane in the same game. At least one of them has to come out ahead.
Thank you, Ox. Thank you. That feels great
Yeah.
for both of us. But I mean, there is some credit to it, right? I think naturally we're going to shift our attention as well to their supports, right? If both ADs have been struggling, how can their supports support them? Or how can they maybe get out of the part of the map that's struggling and influence somewhere else? Because both Busio and Core have been super active on the map and really key parts of at least some of those T1 early games looking pretty close.
I mean, Busio's Camille was just insane. The fact that they let Carrier have Bard, which is a major risk, a lot of teams aren't willing to do so, and he was just everywhere, setting up plays, taking over the map. And this was after he had a bit of a rough start in lane, was just finding angles to set up plays consistently throughout this match.
Yeah, I actually was kind of shocked. I saw some pretty negative comments on Busio, you know, being too over-aggressive. To me, it's like, this is how you have to play Camille. Like, you have to go in. You have to throw your body in there and start fights. And I felt like he was such a big part of actually bringing them back after they got killed. That early first blood that Owner got on them, he made them competitive. So I do think he deserved a lot of credit there. Core has also been really stalwart over the last number of years. He has been more up and down, but I do think when the meta goes more towards engage, Core is in his comfort zone. You know, yeah, he's good on enchanters, but TL has always functioned better when Core is that go button.
And I feel like we're still kind of in that area where teams are figuring out the meta. We've seen engaged sports be pushed up in terms of priority. We saw, obviously, the buffs to them, the nerfs to enchanters, but I feel like it's not settled yet. Obviously, with the side of T1 still playing heavily through bot, but not necessarily doing that with range supports. But I am interested to see how things shake out if we're going to see those melee supports. Because, I mean, a few years ago, it was just melee supports non-stop all the time. And I wonder if we will return to that in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, we've still seen Ashe Seraphine, we've seen Milio Lucian, we've still seen some of these enchanters, but it does feel like there are more options for the melee supports. But Core yesterday was feeling pretty confident, you know, reminded us, great reminder, that at first stand, the only series they played, they strangely actually went home after this. They did play KC. They beat them, and then they're like, yeah, our work series done. So they just...
Yeah, that's crazy. I just think I remember KC being in the finals. Were you guys there too? Is that where this happened?
No, we were done after that.
Oh, okay. So you kind of,
we just had an NAU thing going on.
That's it. Yeah, it's always kind of just riff
Ended with
rivals for you
100%
guys,
win
right?
rate.
Yeah, there's not much past this one match, and then it's kind of a quick trip
That's what
home.
matters, you know.
I will say though, if we look at the rosters last year, they were a little bit different. If I check the support position, suddenly the stats get a little bit nicer. I mean, Busio versus Core.
So what you're telling me is
18.
that the European team is getting carried by the North American player.
As opposed to the North American team getting carried by the Korean player. At least I'm keeping it in the family, my guy. Like, come on. Anyway, Mastercard fans, they predicted things. What did they predict? Well, it's late enough in the day that the French fans are awake, so I'm feeling this one will be a little bit closer.
Wow, 103% for KC with a 3% margin of error. That's crazy.
106% with a 3% margin of error.
How funny would it be if the numbers just for this one vote didn't add up at all? They were just so wrong. You can, of course, cast your vote at Mastercard GG. What is the actual read here? I just say fan prediction. I don't need to say cast your vote, or do I need to say cast your vote?
I think he'll be done by then, no?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
듣는 거니 머무르고 있는 걸 때로도 달려봐도 못할 걸 I want it I'll make the world all mine You want it Can just come follow me I like it 누구도 날 막지 못해 지금처럼만 focus on me Oh my god, you know what? I'll just drive. Oh my god, you know what? Cruising through in the morning, windows down in the night. We know how the warning is. I can't understand why we don't speed through the lines. Baby, I'll take you on for a ride. Get high, get wild. Shut up and drive. Can we just shut up and drive? 한 손은 박스바퀴 다른 손은 우리의 밤. We can talk for the night. Give me something to make me leave it all behind. My heart is
told you I was done with basic browsers. Your setup wants Opera GX, and you're holding it back. Upgrade to the gaming browser. Download Opera GX.
When I was a player, if I was to like make a misplay, maybe it's my mouse, maybe it's my armrest, something feels wrong. If you were at home, you wouldn't do that.
The Infinite Precision Armrest is part of the larger Circulab on Stage standard initiative, aimed to bring your home or training room settings to the tournament stage.
이제 저뿐만 아니라 다른 선수들도 세팅을 더 원활하게 할 것 같고
가장 편안할 때 더 강력한 플레이가 자연스럽게 나옵니다.
Tired of the off-season blues once Worlds is over? Fear not, because League of Legends is coming to the very first Esports Nations Cup, where players split from their clubs and compete for national pride. Will China test every limit imaginable? Will South Korea turn every game into a macro masterclass? Will EU and NA actually play in the correct lanes? The final event of the year is not to be missed. Esports Nations Cup 2026. See you in Riyadh.
With my new phone company, Menace Mobile, our pricing structure will be so confusing, it can only be described as evil.
That isn't evil. It's just typical phone company stuff. Besides, people just switch to Verizon.
With their new Simplicity plan, there's just one plan and one price.
What now?
And it's only $30 for a single line.
$30! So you're all choosing Verizon.
Traders! Introducing the Simplicity plan. $30 for a single line.
Can you hear me now?
Red Bull gives you wings.
Times like this are where star players shine and new legends step up, where legacies are built and dreams are either realized or ripped apart. He still doesn't die! You cannot step the Vega and expect to live to talk about tomorrow! He passed it well with the Arcane Storm, doing so much work in GG! They are just going to ace them!
In esports, legendary moments demand speed, scale, and soul. Players and fans bring the heart. Technology brings it to life. Every frame, every stat, every decisive play. In partnership with League of Legends Esports, we're driving digital innovation that empowers the esports ecosystem to keep expanding. So players can focus on the game, and fans can focus on the moment.
Welcome, everyone, to day 3 of the 2026 Mid-Season Invitational Play-In Stage here in beautiful Daejeon Convention Center, South Korea. It's a good day to be a North American and European fan. A bad day because we both lost embarrassingly to T1, but that's kind of par for the course. A good day because tonight we get to settle a score as old as time as itself. Europe versus North America. And who better to do it than a European like Ox and a North American like Azale?
This man is a top esports fan. He does not claim Europe.
He's a little bit of an imposter, but we need an impartial middle party, and you think it would be me because I'm American, I cast in Europe, but
no, that's why we brought in the top esports fan. He understands our disappointment, our heartbreak.
Yes.
He's one of us.
The one man truly qualified to understand disappointment at this scale, Ox. Generational top esports fans. But of course, it's been a lot of tournament happening thus far, and it hasn't been great for everybody. KC and Team Liquid Alienware fighting in the lower bracket, but we did say goodbye to DCG yesterday.
Yeah. The important thing is really to focus on yesterday's matches, the important ones, where TL dominated and KC were completely devastated by opponents of equal strength.
You know, I might be being a little bit greedy here, but when we have this big best-of-5 tournament, I'd like at least like a Game 4. Game 5 would be great, but I'll take a Game 4. It's just been all 3-0s.
We're saving the best for second last today.
Yes, we are.
I hope so.
We are. And I have a game for us to play to keep things fun, keep things jovial. You two, since neither of you cast LCS, I can't really count on you to know the answers. So you're going to have to work together. You're going to have to choose one team. Every question will be answered by either TL or KC.
Okay, simple.
We'll see if you guys can keep up. All right, let's go. Question number 1. Bring it up here for these two knuckleheads. Which team's mid laner has Azir as their most played champion all time?
I'm going to say Yehu. I'm going to say it has to be Yehu, KC. It's his one trick. He plays it forever. It has to be him. It has to be him.
Wait, you guys both just said opposite things. You have to decide.
No, sorry, KC, yeah.
KC, Yehu? No, you can decide.
Yehu.
Make a decision.
KC.
Wrong. It's Team Liquid.
I said Team Liquid and you made me...
Absolutely incorrect.
It's not my fault. You need to be stronger, Ox, if you want me to trust you.
A 0%
They're
win
Korean
rate.
mid laners.
In my ear.
A 0% win rate.
Horrible.
Oh, no, I thought
you
meant...
guys. Not quit. Of course not. Question number 2. Moving on. A chance to redeem yourselves. Which team support famously beat EU in a best-of-5 at MSI?
I'm starting to wonder if the answer is... There's an answer
KC.
either...
Wrong! It's both! Of course it's both! But to be fair, this one's pretty easy to do, and you know what? I'm going to take the L for this one. That's my bad. Who hasn't done that? Both Core and Boostio have beaten them in a best-of-5. My bad. I messed up on this question. I apologize.
Is this?
Moving on.
It'd be either
I'm sorry.
TL
I'm sorry.
or KC.
It's my fault. There was just... It slipped my mind.
He threw a Canadian story in
okay?
there. We heard it. Okay.
Next question. Which jungler has a 100% win rate on Lee Sin this split?
It's probably Jose Diodo.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to Team Liquid.
It's Jose Diodo.
Wrong! It is, in fact, the other team. Incorrect.
I don't know.
Yike has a 100% win rate.
Are we 0%? Are we 0?
Yeah.
That one's on me. I have to take credit for that one.
Wrong.
Okay, in my defense, I wasn't here for the entire season.
Moving on. Question number 4. This one, very easy, extremely obvious. Surely you could get it. Which team has a Korean top laner who's having a great tournament?
Both.
He's gonna trick us. He's gonna say the opposite of whatever we say.
I'm going with both.
It's both.
It's both.
It has to be one or the other.
It's both.
It's got to be one or the other. You got to choose team.
Kana. I pick Kana. Well, actually, here's how we decided. Who do you like more? Which Korean player do you like more? Pick a team, Ox!
I'm going to go with Lord Morgan.
Wrong. Of course it's Kana. Didn't you see his top cap?
Yes, thank you.
Completely wrong.
Idiot,
it was Carmine Corp.
Of course.
These questions are so easy, too.
How could you not understand with such an obvious and clearly categorized question?
They would have gotten something right by this point. Last chance here, guys. Surely you can scrape up one. Which team has a regional star 80 carry who's struggling in MSI? It's an either-or question, guys. Come on.
It's both. Okay, Ox, we have to stand strong. Maybe we look like stupid, maybe we look like stupid, but we go out stupid together.
Okay.
It's obviously both.
Yes.
It's obviously both. It's an either-or question.
No, it's obviously both.
This is pretty clear, guys. Well defined within the rules.
Okay, who's worse? Jan or Kalist? This isn't a great way to phrase it as an EU pundit, but I think we have to be honest about the state of 80 carries right now. Who's worse?
This is actually a tough one.
It's really hard. This is like 90% of the question about this matchup. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
I think...
Ox, you're smarter than me. I need you to answer this,
I'm gonna go Kalista. I think he's struggled more than I expected.
Wrong! Of course! It's Team Liquid, obvious. You would have thought it's a 50-50 questions, guys. Surely you would have got one right.
We 0 for 5?
Yeah.
Wow. This is disappointing.
I'm impressed, but that is the kind of level of experience
I've never felt
and performance we've come to expect from Europe at this tournament.
If you give me one more and I get it wrong, I could feel like TSM. That'd be sick.
That's a good one. You got me there, okay?
Okay, well, look, thank you, Isaac, for that wonderful and maybe slightly rigged game.
Wasn't as fun as I thought it'd be.
This game was completely fair, above board.
It seems like Isaac had a good time, which I'm starting to suspect might have been Isaac's goal the entire time.
None of these questions could have applied to both teams. I don't know what you're talking about.
He had a good time, mean you didn't.
Yeah.
2/3 of the desk, I think majority rules.
That's probably a fair way to do the math. But let's do a little bit more math on maybe the all-time head-to-head. Let's talk a little bit about the history between these two teams at MSI. Because, like, Worlds, we could talk about it, but we don't need to. Let's look at that regional rivalry at MSI, Isaac. 18-12. That's a pretty big difference. What do you got to say about that one?
It's like cave paintings, you know? This is ancient history. Who cares?
Not me.
Yes.
Look, all I'm saying is,
I can't even count that high,
okay,
Dracos.
I'm sorry, do you still not use fire and the wheel? I think cave paintings might be important sometimes, Isaac. Season 1 World Champs! What is this? What? This seems...
2019?
This seems rude.
That's not even a real year. It's too far ago.
I can't remember that far back, so it doesn't count.
Pre-COVID,
Okay,
Daniel?
Isaac,
really?
I have a feeling that
You're embarrassing yourself.
Oh, well...
Let's look at some more recent stats, some stats that matter, some hard-hitting stats.
2024, 2025. Okay.
Let's talk about the last couple years. 2023, 0 games lost to Europe. 2024, 3-1 over Fnatic. 2025, 3-0 over G2.
He's kind of got a point.
Don't sell me
Thanks,
out
buddy.
that fast. Don't sell
Get
me out
over
that
here.
fast. Look, I don't.
I'm just saying.
Dude, those tournaments. That's not. Let's look at final placements. How about that? We all know it was completely and totally not fraudulent that KC made the finals the first time. We know it was 100% real, authentic, and didn't rely on top esports choking. I'm sorry, Ox, but it's how EU gets all their wins. What about G2 also beating top esports? Also counts. I don't know if these head-to-head records matter very much.
Why is everything about top esports?
It just happens to be the case that that's how we get all of our good placements.
Because he can't talk about his own team. So let's talk about someone who can talk about his own team. Let's talk about Spawn, who's never lost to Europe. Not once. Never the coach of Team Liquid.
Yeah, but he has lost to people like Busio. You know, he has lost to these players before. He hasn't even really had a chance, I think, to honest. Okay, those numbers are.
Who cares
are
about
fantastic.
this? This is when.
Shout out production. I didn't even ask for this.
This is when Reaper was in NA.
So for those of you who can't read, crazy that that's the case, but respectable. If you look at those numbers on the bottom, those tell a pretty clear story. I didn't expect I'd ever be here to slam dunk Reaper, saying like, hell yeah, that's my boy. But hell yeah, that's my boy, Reaper.
No one cares
Absolutely
about
dunking
coaches.
on Spawn. No, they do. You already brought him
I
up.
don't even know who the coaches of these teams
We can't
are.
go back. Sometimes I forget
Do you,
myself.
Ox?
No.
Exactly.
We can't go backwards. What do you feel about these numbers? Look at that. Look at that. And not only don't remember Korean coach and you like the LCK.
You know
Look
what?
at those numbers.
Let's get some real analysis, guys.
I like the numbers.
Let's talk about Jose Dioto, because Jose Dioto has been playing incredible at this tournament. He was already great in NA, but here internationally, he is shining against even the likes of T1 Ox.
Yeah, I mean, the Poppy game was really good. It was a great draft for them. You're playing into Kalista, and it was a fantastic early start. It didn't develop flawlessly, though. There was a couple of moments of smites later on, but for the most part, the early plan, I think, from him set them up for a lot
hold
of
those
success.
smites against him, okay? Owner got to train his smite key against Gumayushi, buddy.
Yeah.
That is tough.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, look, personal, emotional investment in this, it is very important to me aside. Jose Dioto has been looking good. And I feel like it is really all about jungle in this matchup. And that part of the map we already talked about once, not so positively, but we'll get there eventually. Instead, I just want to highlight, in general, how important both of these junglers have been to their respective teams. Jose Dioto certainly looking fantastic. But let's look at Yike's numbers. Some of them will be a little bit worse, but the important one I want to highlight is K+A at 14. This man getting things done on the map. Now, ultimately, did the game go awry? Yes, but it also did for TL. No one's getting one over on T1, and Yike building those massive individual leads gives me a lot of faith.
Yeah, he had a lot of momentum in that game. I feel like both of these junglers, when they're doing well, the team follows and feeds off that success.
Yeah.
And when they've struggled in this tournament, it has been a bit tougher when Owner's been having fantastic games. But the early plans, I think, have given a lot of headway to them.
I feel like both these guys are kind of the engines for the team, and when they're ahead, they love to invade, they love to snowball the game, they're pushing it forward, and I do think Yike deserves so much credit actually for KC's success so far this year. He's a player who has gotten a lot of hate, I think, internationally. Yes. But I think he is innocent.
There will be times where Isaac and I see eye to eye on this. You gotta brace this. I think the other time we see eye to eye is bottom lane.
We want some more.
The 80 carry role. We would like to see more. I think both of us maybe a little underwhelmed by our respective representatives' performance so far, as are the fans, I think it's safe to say, because both these guys have been playing well under, I think, what their team needs if they want to upset a team like T1 or take a confident win against their opposition today.
And I mean, the tough part is not that these are bad players. The tough part is that we have seen so much better from both of the players, and you come to expect much more, and they are really not having the kind of results that you would want. I mean, only one team gets out of play-ins. T1 is looking like the massive favorites. Left them both. You need more from either of these 80 carries if they're to stand a chance, if they can get past their opponent today.
And T1's been so bot-centric, and Pays and Carrier have been so good. It's really hard, especially in the laning phase when they're just taking over the game on the back of that. But I feel like something that has been worrying is when we get to the later stages of the game, some pivotal mistakes when it comes to team fights, positioning errors, getting caught out. Those I'm more concerned about, because obviously falling behind against Pays Carrier, it's kind of expected for a lot of teams. But when it comes to later stages, has been tough. Busio, though, when we look at him, on this Camille in particular, they let Carrier have Bard, and yet he was running the pace of the game in the mid-game.
And I think that's the good news for both respective bottom lanes, that their supports really have been pulling their weight. And a big question today is, are we going to see some isolated 80 carries on the bot side so these supports are free to roam? Because for both Busio and Core, they've been super active on the map and really starting a lot of these plays almost in isolation.
And I mean, they're both players that are really known for roaming. They love to have kind of interesting timings, play well with their junglers. So I do think jungle support is ridiculously important. And while they're both good enchanter players, I do think they both really excel when they are the engaged champions, when they are those teams.
And we're still early in the tournament. We did see the changes that kind of buffed up the melee supports, nerfed down the enchanters a bit. We've seen more of them, but I feel like teams are still figuring out the meta. How much do you want to invest into the bot lane 2v2? How much are you investing into the rest of the map? So I think it does give more freedom for these engaged specialists to just take over the map and not be as centered on playing like Ashe Seraphine every game.
And we'll have to see if that's what the teams want to go to. I certainly hope so. It sounds like Isaac does as well. Maybe you too, Ox. But let's check in on the fans at home. Let's see how they're feeling today about this series with our Mastercard fan predictions. This time around, I want to see. What do we got here? We got handsome players, and we got a very KC favorite vote, as you would expect.
Honestly, I think TL doing maybe better than I expected. KC even beat T1 in the fan prediction, which almost never happens. So,
you know what? Shout out to all the NA fans staying up late, watching the games, voting for the predictions.
Well, I think,
but you already know what we're gonna say. Right?
It's super true. Ox, I think we need something different from you, because sometimes on this desk it's a little balanced.
We need to convince Switzerland.
We need to convince Switzerland. We need you to get active on this one.
Dracos, would you like to open the arguments?
And I'm really sad the fans couldn't get their Mastercard fan predictions in before I showed this hard-hitting analysis. Let's take a look, because when we talk about history, we often forget that it's more than just League of Legends that has an effect on the game. You know what we forget about? Yeah, that's right, folks. The moon. Consider it. EU head-to-head during a full moon? Yes, 11-8, easy. Your best moon phase, first quarter. Our best moon phase, last quarter. But when it comes to the full moon, we are absolutely dominant. Yahoo is a werewolf, canonically, in the fan fiction I wrote. Yike, born on a full moon. I think enough said.
Dracos, you're embarrassing yourself. This is ridiculous. Let's bring up a real argument here. We need some serious analysis on the desk around this out. So what I have done is I've gone through every tier 1 player and I've ranked their win rate based on their Zodiac star signs. Then we assign the star sign to the corresponding birth date of each of the players. Now we have clearly ranked the teams based on where they rank based on their Zodiac signs. So TLAW clearly going to be winning today with a 4.6 average here in the Zodiac sign. Well, KC has a paltry 6, and they're only being improved by Busio.
Oh, Isaac. Oh, Isaac. Of course, you wanted to go to the stars? Oh, I took the moon. We have to go higher. We have to go to the cards. You know what I did last night in beautiful Daejeon? I went and got a tarot reading.
Ridiculous.
The lady who did it, incredible. You know what card she drew for me when I said one card? I need one card to show me what the win will be, what the result will be. Boom, the tower, destruction, upheaval. You know what that means for Spawn and his precious win rate? I'm not 100% sure she said the answer in Korean, but I'm pretty sure it's a very good sign, Isaac.
This is ridiculous. Ox, what do you think? Ox, who's going to win? It's obviously going to be Team Liquid.
You have to trust the cards,
They've been winning every single time,
You need your
Ox.
European, you need to do this, come on! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to MSI 2026, where we have the tough task of bringing things back to serious reality after whatever the hell I just witnessed on the analyst desk. The first thing I want to say is sorry, Orcs. We will get you a security team and things will be okay in the future. I am Max. This is Rob. That is Sam. We're very excited. We all have 3-letter names and we are getting ready to get into this best of 5. Probably the best that we've seen. Is this like... Am I predicting too heavily towards positivity? Because I do feel like this has got to be the best of 5 we've had so far.
I swear to God, if this is another 3-0
for KC, I'd be happy with that. I'm actually okay with that. Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, the name's Dagda, kind of. Yeah. An Irish god.
Oh yeah, there you go. You've got the letters in there, I'm sure. No, you don't. Not quite. All right. Don't do math or letters on stream. I am very, very excited for this series, mainly because there are 5 Korean players. So there's something from me here too, even if it is EU versus NA. Reapit versus Spawn, though, this is one that goes back quite some distance as well. There is a lot to be spoken about. I love that Spooks is coaching his former opponent in Jose Dioto. There are so many things, so many connections all over the Rift here today, and I just can't wait to see who's going to win.
Yeah, we've got you comfortable with Koreans up there and Australians up there.
I know. I couldn't be more comfortable.
Feel
Whereas
right
for me,
at
it's
home.
just my heart rate that's up there for the series, to be honest, because I think this is going to be an absolute banger. I think this is incredibly close. And, I mean, we even got to catch up with Spawn last night, and he was very confident about this one, but I know seeing the KC lads as well, they feel like they got this in the bag.
And it's when they both feel like they've got it in the bag that you get the spiciest League of Legends. And I love that oftentimes at the very beginning of a tournament, when we get the first taste of EU versus NA, it's in like a best of 1 or a best of 3 a lot of the time. The format is so generous as we get a best of 5. So there are people that are like, oh, well, you know, it was a 2-0, we didn't get into our groove, whatever. I mean, it's going to be at least 3 games. We're going to have a lot of tape to work out who the best is going to be. And definitively, today we will know the best region out of North America and Europe today.
Forever! Unless we lose.
No.
Unless we lose.
Today, just today.
Okay.
It's just today. Sorry, it's for the whole... But this entire 24-hour period?
Yeah, that's bragging rights right there. Yeah.
Bragging rights.
All right, let's get into
That's why we put it on later on in the day here in Korea, so you guys wouldn't argue too much. All right, let's get into the HyperX draft, Kirby.
I was curious about that because a lot of the NA fans went to sleep. It's so late. Let's get into the draft, though. Good point. And we do already have some target bans. You know, KC, of course, Akali is Quid's best champion. And trying to take out some of those AP solo laners that they have used effectively.
And also sets up a potential Orianna here, honestly, if you're Team Liquid, right? Like, I think she's incredibly strong in the patch, especially with Cassiopeia and Nivea. Maybe it's a setup for the Rise here for Team Liquid, but I think the Orianna very strong in this position as well.
I think Orianna matches up decently well into the Rise as well. Historically has been able to outrange and farm pretty comfortably, so we'll see whether that is going to be the decision. I think picking it away from Yehu is just enough, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, another thing, too, is that they did not target ban Jose's Nefiri, which a lot of teams have been doing since Lion showcased the strategy versus Team Liquid, and Jose is very good with Nefiri, and that pairs with the Orianna Shockwave quite well, as does the Nocturne. So definitely both pairings are still available, but KC locking into that Camille support again for Busio.
And this was more of an Eastern thing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and so Busio's been putting that one through its paces now that he's got here.
Yeah, I mean, Kobe, you may not know him, but he's an up-and-coming Polish player, and he's been doing absolutely fantastically in the past when he was on these kind of Rome champions. So, and I was really impressed with him on the Camille against T1 as well. I think he had this incredible performance, so I'm excited to see the impact that he can have. But I am curious what they want to try and pair with for Kalist, as you've got the Orianna Nocturne in the opposite side.
I just think it's so strong as a support. If you are a mechanically gifted support, which Busio is, he is one of these players that changed from role swap from mid lane down to support, and has been one of his biggest strengths was his mechanics and outplaying a lot of other supports. So if you have Camille and you can move around the map and affect those side lanes, and especially the mid lane as well, where they champion like Orianna that is low mobility, then Busio definitely will have a big impact. And Core has responded with the team fight here with the Rel.
And I was wondering whether they were going to just go full Nocturne composition and pick the Nico, but I think Nico into the Camille can be a little bit of a difficult matchup. Core's been great on the Rel, and this is just more, we can dive you at any stage. We can put a ball on basically anyone and have a good time. We've had the Orianna Nocturne combination banned the entire season in the LCK. We have never seen it. It just hasn't happened this season, I'm pretty sure.
It's also because the Nocturne is so oppressive in those levels 1 to 3, like looking for early invades as well is so strong. And against the Wukong, I think that could be something you could try and look towards, but I think we're going to get a lot of the target bans towards the AD carry role with Team Liquid coming in, because Camille kind of wants something that can have decent wave clear and be left on their own. If you can try and remove some of those picks, I think you set up nicely then for Team Liquid to try and respond for a Camille roam with that potential dive on the bottom lane.
Yeah, the Ziggs and the Mel have definitely been premier combos with it, so we'll see. They're actually banning away the Ezreal. This is definitely one of those safe champions that could be left alone. Not so much indexing into the mages just quite yet, but definitely looking at the top side here, because both Kana and Morgan were very, very good, even against T1, against Doran, and had been the best performing players on their teams in those losing games that they had anyway. Definitely worth saying, Morgan's Renekton, you know, his most played and his best champion, iconic, so that's a worthy target ban right there.
I'm hoping it was Kana, you know, he's just sitting back there, it's like, I remember what to do against Morgan, we ban the Crocodile, and that is definitely a good idea. He was also the one that debuted Yorick in the top lane as well in the LCK, so it might be something that they could look at in theory. Wouldn't mind a little bit of side lane power for TL at this point in time, but the Jace going to be taken away from Kana, definitely one of his comfort picks.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they were going to try and go for the Rumble on this rotation, even though you kind of want the counter pick, just because it's been such a strong pick for Kana. Oh, she's banned away, thank you, Gobi. But I still think getting some of this like strong, like the Gnar in that top lane that can work in these team fights is going to be the big focus here for that top side. But it looks like they're going to go towards the Varus, which can be a little bit vulnerable. This will be unreal, because Kallista's not played any of the mages at all split long, and it's not something I expect him to pick up, but obviously coming into this patch, you need to have this in your wheelhouse.
And it's a really dangerous time to pick Ziggs as well, because Orcs is on the analyst desk, so he will be adjudicated for his level of play.
And the pairing is just so good with the Camille, because you have kill pressure in lane, you can also just clear waves, let the Camille have so much extra time roaming around, and you know, if they can get the Rise into a very good point on side lanes here, be able to move around, then maybe that will be the avenue to victory. The Tristana Rel combo here from bot side.
So she actually got buffed coming into this patch as well, with the mana going down on her Q, so making her a lot easier to just hop in and look for these aggressive trades. So definitely going to be a little bit of a tough one. Satchel Charge might need a bit more defensive in this matchup.
A little bit of a yordle off, and you know what Team Liquid have done? They've just got an extra yordle, and that is going to work out. The blind nut towards the top side of the map can be a dangerous one, but we'll see what Kana is going to bring to the matchup. The Vayne is hovered, but that is obviously Busio. The problem is, it's also a counter pick to the
There
nut.
you go, and that's what I was going to say.
And
He's
locked
brought
in.
it out in the past, and he has looked spectacular on it. And he's loved in the LEC being able to bring this out as a counter pick, and has really run away with this matchup consistently.
And now they have an AD carry. That's kind of nice.
I mean, this is so fun, this draft, because topside, of course, Kana with the counter pick is going to want attention up there from jungle, but also bottom side, this Tristana Rel combination from Team Liquid into the Camille lane. Rel actually is very good at face tanking the E from Camille, and then can also Shattering Strike off the shield as well. So maybe they even just try and turn it instantly and kill him. Tristana, especially if you can get early lead, you can get that early auto push and really try and put the extra pressure.
And she's also extraordinarily safe into Camille, because you just press R when she presses R.
Buffer.
And then
Then when she gets the ultimate,
yeah.
you have your ultimate to knock her.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So you just, like, she hextech ultimatum, and you're like, that's not an ultimatum. It's actually, you go over there now, and then we're done. So I really like that choice. Definitely going to, like, this reminds me of the old Tristana Alistair lanes. You know, if we're thinking back to League Classic that has recently come into our forefront, like, that was an old kill lane. And Rel Tristana kind of works in a similar way. We'll see whether they go for, like, the weird level 3s or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how Kalist tries to play this, because I think if you're Busio, I don't even want to be in the lane. I want to, like, move towards mid and look against that Orianna. I want to try and capitalize on the advantages that have been gained for this Vayne in the top lane. So does that then lead to, hey, we're going to try and dive Ziggs repeatedly? Or is it just a case of, hey, CoreJJ is trying to match some of those roams?
We'll see how it goes as we are onto the Rift for game number 1 of this best of 5. Fighting for a chance to take on T1 for a spot at the main stage. As already, we have a little bit of aggression. Great hookshot to come out from Busio here to get Morgan down to 50%, but he will be able to get out whilst retaining his flash.
They've also got wards now on both of those bushes in the top lane, so nowhere really safe for Morgan, even if he does teleport back in here. So already, a lot invested.
Yeah, and Busio's going to keep investing his time. You see him going through the jungle at the moment. He's going to pass over the ward, so they're finally going to get that vision. But Morgan is 50% HP on the top side. He decided he's not going to go back and waste his summoner spell cooldown with the teleport. He's just going to chug his potion and try to stay here. But Kana can continue to punish.
And the trade-off, right, is that Kalist cannot farm. It is only one wave that he's lost so far, but Morgan very, very close to death and will now be going home.
It's also support role quest as well, because we do live in the world with the quests, and so Busio did spend a lot of time out of lane for the very beginning, but it has had a huge impact already on this top lane. Now it's going to start slow pushing here towards him. Morgan should be able to collect all right.
Yeah, I'm curious what the answer is here for KC, though. Like, especially now that you have push in mid. We saw in game 1 against T1, Yike wanted to try and go for some sort of invade, but without having the support of your bottom lane, could be a little bit risky. So we'll have to see if they want to try and still capitalize on this push for Yehu, because he's got good control here.
Well, having a look now, mid lane is under KC's control for the minute. And CoreJJ going to crash towards Busio here, still level 1, just trying to utilize that level advantage that TLAW do have towards this bottom side. And Yon just going to be shooting things. The good thing about the Tristana in this matchup as well is that you can somewhat match the wave clear of the Ziggs with the explosive shot. As you get that one leveled up, you will be able to just blow up these minions over and over again. It's going to feel a little bit better.
So Yehu went for the early reset there to pick up his tier, which is great because he's opted into the Ghost instead of going for that teleport. So having him be able to reset and buy that timer is going to be super nice. And now as we start to look towards like a potential push out of mid, it's going to be that bot lane scuttle that will be the action.
All right, we got to get all the fans in on this. You know, it's North America versus Europe here. Vote now in chat. Who's going to take it? You know, the timing is not that great for North American fans.
Already making excuses, Kobe. Already making excuses.
But
Vote from your sleep.
KC's a really small fan base, so I think they'll probably even out on that one. Yeah.
I have a feeling you might win this.
Yeah, I heard it's called the blue fence, isn't it? You know, not the blue. Okay, Canna is in a lot of trouble here towards the top side. First blood for the Lord Morgan as the Gnar will take down the Vayne in the counter matchup.
Okay, now vote. I know some of you voted a little early there. Maybe you want to switch the votes. Oh, Lord Morgan, let's go.
I don't know what happened up there.
Canna died.
Yeah, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
We'll get a replay here because he had the exhaust. Just looks like he didn't respect Morgan being able to jump in on top of him. Oh, tumbled in.
He tumbled in.
Huh?
Kana, that was not it.
And the exhaust was incredibly late as well, so the boulder hit for full damage.
Yeah, good punish from Morgan on that one. His bot lane. Here we go.
Yep, crash down just to try and get Yehu out of here. He does want to try and take on CoreJJ. Will get him down very, very low, but they keep themselves alive. This is a great start for TL.
Yeah, really good start as they actually try and look for an invade on towards this top side as well. Both crabs were taken by Yike, so they want to try and get something back for Jose Diodo here.
Well, Yike is now just going to be pushed away. Quid with the right to roam, given the fact that the Rise was moving down. Nice little distortion for a bit of extra damage towards this monkey, and it will be a successful steal away. And so I do really feel like games that are a bit chaotic within the lanes really help Nocturne compositions who just want to get around and get stuff done. And TL won. How did this happen?
I think Morgan is. We're going to thank Morgan.
I think Morgan every day.
It's a 9 a.m. start. All the people are in work.
But it really does help out so much for Gnar to have that recovery from the start that Busio actually affecting that lane so heavily. I mean, Kana helped him with the tumble in there, but such a better spot now for Morgan looking at the side lanes later on.
And it just shows that it is a difficult matchup to play out, even if it is considered one that's very, very difficult. I think that you still need to play it incredibly well to make the Vayne work.
And it has been Kana traditionally playing this matchup very well. Like, he wouldn't tumble in. He's been very good at, like, positioning around where the Gnar can try and find those advantages, but a massive misstep is making things significantly easier for Morgan, as Kobe was saying, in this matchup, and alleviates a lot of pressure now for, hey, how do you try and play around the map as Busio, because you're not actually getting that full control on the top side anymore.
And like we said, Morgan and Kana both had very good, starts to the tournament. But here is that all-time, matchup between the two from the LCK. And let's take a look at bottom side, actually, really quickly.
Yeah, Busio and Yike making their way in here as CoreJJ trying to dodge out of the way here as the crash down doesn't quite work. Does need to flash to get himself out of the way. But that Aftershock putting in work here to make sure he stays alive.
Good flash from CoreJJ, just about able to step away. Still, you're getting river control here for KC. I think it's just for Scuttle Crab. I don't think you really want to start up this Dragon quite yet.
Level 6 available potentially, as Yike does look for it. So the classic battle for the Crab coming on through as Yehu was considering a back, but does cancel it here as Jose does move his way over. Quid moving into the darkness, does have his orb in order to see what's going on, but it looks like they will forego that. Yike is going to be able to pick up the Crab and move back to collect that level 6 now off his next camp. It's kind of going in one more time. Morgan still respecting, but steel caps are so powerful in this matchup.
Yeah, certainly are. And, you know, KC, even though they're able to get the level 6, they don't want to go for the Dragon because they want to protect all their top camps here. They have 3 top camps, so they don't want to leave it open for a top side play there at 4-Team Liquid. So both Busio roams up through mid, and Yike crosses back over to protect his camps and make sure he's going to get his level 6.
With those 3 camps taken, though, it looks like KC might try and set up for some sort of play on the top side. Busio already roaming. You do have blue buff spawning for Jose Deodo, though, so he should be on top end.
And look at this full swap here. They're actually sending Tristana up to the top side too for Team Liquid, so they're doing the lane swap. Meanwhile, Ziggs left in the bottom lane there, does not have teleport.
All right, they're going to replace the Yordles, moving Morgan down towards that bottom side, as we can see, as now you've got the Cyclone coming on through. Core JJ will be able to crash over the wall, but Busio gets in there and takes down the Rel. Wrong place, wrong time for the TL support.
KC make the play happen before Team Liquid can really mount the defense, catching Core JJ as he's trying to get the vision, and it's a quick punch back into the face.
They thought they had so much safety because everybody was up around there with Morgan recalling in the brush and Nocturne ultimate ready, but Core just gets bursted so quickly. They don't want to play into the losing skirmish already, so KC get one back, and we're right back to even.
It is entirely square between the two teams at the moment. Exactly what we wanted for this game number 1. EU versus NA. TL desperately trying to get to that rematch with T1, but so are KC.
Would I say technically NA has 2 kills because Busio is the one who got the kill?
No, he's Polish. He's Polish, remember? Yeah. In the same way, it's Jose if you don't know.
All right, Morgan could be in a little bit of trouble. Does hit Mega at exactly the right time, though, for the defense, grabbing that extra health as the Dragon is going to be begun here by KC. TL, with their control of the waves, have been able to get to a slight gold advantage, and Jose is on these grubs, able to take them down as well. And Yon's on Tristana, right? Like, you can really demolish these turrets very, very quickly. Same to be said for Ziggs, but I think the sieging capabilities of both of these comps is pretty scary.
Yeah, I mean, Callisto just going to clear out the wave, and I do like the way Jose Deodo's kind of changing up his jungle path here. I think if you're separated from Yike, it opens up for Busio and Yike to go for plays on side lanes that can make it really uncomfortable for Team Liquid. So by leaving his Krugs available on the bottom side, he's now going to be able to kind of match this clear down towards the bottom half of the map and kind of keep pace with Wukong, which makes it a little bit easier to kind of control what KC can do in these early stages.
Yeah, incredibly dangerous when they have extra time to roam around. And look at the deep vision from KC through the red quadrant of TL's jungle as well, so they can look to try and set up these plays, try and set up some more roams in between.
Yeah, of course. Homework done for Dragon was definitely very thorough. Absolutely. But Morgan just going to clear out the wave. We did have waves equalizing towards the top side as well. But with 81 to 81 as far as CS is concerned between these top laners, that kill gold retained here for Morgan. Does feel like the Nara is in a much better position than I was expecting in this matchup against the Vayne. That does really like to catapult themselves into a good position in the earlier stages rather than utilize late game. That being said, I feel like how this composition works later on in the game is a little bit different to a traditional Vayne in the top lane with another 80 carry there towards the bottom side.
Yeah, trying to have so much pressure on all 3 lanes. You show one person each lane and then have 2 junglers basically, with Busio also always hovering around. And it looks like they've decided top lane where Yon is going to be the target. Now, Yike does have his ult back.
Yeah, only level 5 for Busio as there's a rocket jump in, flashes away immediately. And the Hextech sweep does come on down. Yon does have Buster Shot, gets rid of the Vayne. And there's the barrier, but it's not going to be enough. Yike able to lock down that kill. JJ a little bit late. The paranoia comes in, though, as Morgan gets in. The Meganar is a little late as he's looking for more. Busio was the guaranteed kill, but he does not actually go for it. Went for the big one, and that's going to let them all live apart from Busio, who will be caught by the very edge of the shockwave.
That could have gone so much worse for KC, though, as the Avengers assembled. They just about managed to scurry away from that. It'll only be Busio who has to give his life.
And in the end, they've got a Ziggs just pushing bottom lane there. Callist, there's 2 turret plates off of that bottom side turret now. Jose is continuing through the top side jungle invade, though.
Yeah, looking for Yike. We'll be able to push him away from this inner turret, buy some more space for Morgan as well to possibly get another plate. But Busio back out onto the map. Core is going to show up here as well. Still level 5 for both of our supports. Core JJ very, very close to getting that Magnet Storm available. If they can find a fight with support ultimate advantage, that could be a big deal. But nothing really coming up and available within that time, which is going to be quite a slight window as Core JJ will be able to hit that ultimate now.
The Ike's starting to get into a good spot, though. He just completed the Triforce. You can see here is KC. They end up going for the dive. It's a nice job by Yon to flash away from the hit from Busio, but it's kind of being able to just get in range to get that condemn into the wall, but then sets up for the follow-up play. But with the Nar TPing in behind, I thought this was going to be it. But with Kana getting the flash over the wall, Yike being able to get over as well, there's no one on Team Liquid that they can really find. So KC, it's only Busio who gets caught on the lip of this ultimate from Quid.
Yeah, right on the edge. I meant Morgan was so close to being in like flash Nar range after he got over that wall. Doesn't go for it, but does hold on to the flash. And we are missing a couple of flashes over the side of KC, so maybe some good news for TL. But we'll just have to see how it all does shake out. As Quid trying to get some vision back here, putting some wards into this brush, but full information is there as Yon's just dead. Kalist gonna pick up a solo kill in the bottom lane.
This is the first time Kalist. Oh, hang on. Quid.
Yeah, Quid gonna have to run away here. Does have his ultimate back up and available once again. But yeah, let's go back to what just happened in that bottom lane.
Because that's Kalist's first time ever playing Ziggs in a competitive game, and he's just soloed Yon. Like, where the hell has this been hiding?
Yeah, we need a replay of that because, you know, yeah, Yon didn't have his summoner spells from that topside play, but Kalist didn't flash or anything, so let's take a look at it. Just hitting some bombs, I assume.
Yeah, because it's not like you don't have a leap away as Tristana, so that was the initial poke that we saw. A lot of damage, honestly, off of that first combo.
Another bomb. Spike. Yeah. No joke.
He just doesn't miss.
You just hit every bomb. That's the answer.
Wow.
Huh. Well, that'll do it. A little bit of disrespect there out of Yon. And they will be able to pick up that solo kill towards the bottom side. Morgan, with that Mega Gnar now up and available, Busio is going to be supporting Kana here. And that will mean that this Gnar won't be able to get any more plate money towards that top side. First turret blood going over to KC, though, as that one was eradicated from the bottom lane. Ziggs doing exactly what it says on the tin.
But especially when Kalist had faced so much kind of backlash over his initial tournament showings, this is a fantastic performance. 1.6k gold lead on when he's never played mages before, now looking to rotate around the map and continue to grow that lead. Like, this is exactly what Europe wanted to see from this young AD carry.
Yep, this is textbook Ziggs play as well. Just move him to another lane with a turret.
Yeah, and that's perfect for the comp that they have since they want to play the map so spread here with all these different pressure points. And they can just overload, delete this tower with another satchel charge.
Yep,
and
there it
continue
is.
The snowball.
Beautifully done. So immediately moving up to 2 turrets taken. Mid lane outer is ready to fall as well, as we can see, although not as ready to fall as I may have otherwise expected. TL getting a little bit more ground there in mid. As we have a look at the Coinbase gold grind, yeah, Kalist doing a phenomenal job up against Yon here, and they do need their Tristana to start getting strong for that late game consistent damage.
And it's so scary too because Busio also had a pretty good start, so we're going to see the combo, the Camille ult and the Ziggs ult and all this guaranteed damage.
Crazy.
If Kalist is fed, then that damage is just going to be lethal. You're just going to get one comboed.
I do think the shining light here for TL, though, is that KC stayed very late on the map. So with Rift Herald about to spawn in 20 seconds, KC are now only looking for those resets. So TL, knowing that, are starting to step forward, get some deep vision, make sure they can set up for the objective first.
Yeah, and they also have level 11 on Quid as well. So rank 2 in that Shockwave, and we haven't really seen the Nocturne Orianna combo employed just yet. So in a straight up 5v5, things could be difficult for KC. They have a lot of smoke and mirrors in their composition, and I think if TL managed to sink their fangs in, it could be a tough one to play out.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at Morgan. See if he can get over there. Wants to charge up his Gnar bar a little bit on the way as well. He does have his flash. Pretty much everybody except for Quid has the safety of their flash for this fight.
Well, Jose is just going to be using that spell shield, but the Cyclone comes down immediately. There's the Hextech ultimatum, but maybe Busio has gone too far. As Core JJ will help lock him down. That is Morgan going to get all the way as Jose goes in. It's a big Gnar from Morgan as well. Kalist getting taken down solo, but the Dustbringer is not enough. Morgan's dead. Yeah, he was at full health. And now it's KC's turn to start moving forward. That's a great dissonance to try and slow down this rise, and they do hold them at bay for now.
Oh, those flashes were critical. You know, being able to draw Busio that far under tower, and then Core with the combo to keep him there started it out good for TL, but then they also go under KC's tower, Dagda.
And it was also just a little early on that combo from KC, right? Kalista, if he'd waited a little bit for that Busio ult to actually land, would have been able to get that ultimate first, but with that flash, as you talked about, getting him away, Jose Diodo lives, and it became a spicy play in the mid lane.
And that's what we were talking about. We were waiting to see the Nocturne Orianna combo, then it comes in. And now we're sitting at 4-4, everything tied up once again.
Yeah, it was a buy one, get 3 free though, because usually when you do the Nocturne Orianna combo, it's you kill the carry. Managing to pick off all those members of KC and push them back was so crucial for that play.
I think the Nocturne Ori combo got Morgan a little too hype as 4 now.
A little bit overly enthusiastic.
I mean, I got super hyped too. We were all like, oh my goodness,
I was not
the
hyped.
triple.
I was hyped for the League of Legends. Don't worry, Dagda, I'll be with you when KC find
I know
themselves
you're a
an
Morgan
angle.
fan. It's okay.
Yeah, just trying my very best to be completely unbiased with my favorite player of all time on one of the teams in this game. Okay, we do have the Rift Herald now getting taken down very, very low as Jose trying to make Busio scared, but Busio not a very scared man, as they will be able to take down the Rift Herald. Immediately thrown down. Not sure about that one.
I think they thought that he was in danger, so he was going to give the exit car if like Busio got caught or something.
Instead, it's giving some gold over to Jose, and that is about it. As now we're going to have a look at the replay of the previous fight.
Yeah, I mean, as we see this kick off, like the immediate jump onto Jose Diodo, but here I expected them to wait for Busio's ult to land before they threw out the Ziggs ult. And then as you called it, Kobe, flashing under the tower, buying just a bit of space. But I think it's Morgan with this combo that ends up setting up really well.
Yeah, so Jose gets the triple shockwave. We all got hyped, and then Morgan does the bounce in and then flashes over. And so he just dies under tower, doesn't get them. And, you know, everybody having flashes had the big difference, right?
I did, it was the Morgan ult that looked a little wonky to me. I thought he'd hit a couple of members, but just couldn't connect.
Yeah, no Kana flash now, no Kalist flash now, no Yike flash now after that because of it. And so the summoner spells being traded have to keep on, these cooldowns here slightly more, effective now for TL, you would think, with Yon having the double summoner spells, both their main carries.
Yeah, both Ari and the Tristana having summoners available for a Drake that's spawning in 30 seconds time. I think could be a big deal fighting for double dragon here on both sides.
Yeah, I do think an early stop off with kind of third item here for Kalist and Yahoo, getting that Seeker's arm guard is going to be really crucial. Just nullifying the amount of targets that Team Liquid have for this Nocturne Orianna combo is going to be big. It kind of just leaves Khan out in the open, but look, he's going to have to take one for the team.
Right now, too, they're going to have to answer the split push. Look at KC. They've got both sides pushing in here with the Vayne Rise. And so TL going to send Morgan up here, drop the cannon.
Yeah, one answer is at least there. Not going to be taking down that crystalline overgrowth just yet, as Morgan does set himself up to take out at least that wave. We do have Minion Wave pretty close to TL's front door as well on that bottom side of the map, as KC going to utilize this pressure in the side lanes to try and take down this dragon. Has been started up already. Not a lot of vision available for TL.
Morgan also doesn't have TP. He used it to get to the Rift Herald play, so KC, realizing that it was Morgan who went topside, are going to be the ones to take it, but now might be Khan in trouble.
Yeah.
Paranoia going to come in immediately, and now Jose should be able to make this a very scared Vayne, and Morgan just going to pick that one up with a cheeky auto attack after Jose did all the work.
Yeah, nice move here from TL. They make that the call pretty early. Hey, we're not going to be able to get this dragon, so just keep on pushing topside, and we'll look. If Kana is still there, then we'll pop the ultimate, and they do. They get side of him. So that Jose is able to connect with the Nocturne ultimate and grab that one, even though they did have that top lane summoner spell advantage.
And gentlemen, there was like a 1.6k gold advantage for Kalist. Where has it gone? I'm genuinely curious. I don't know where it went.
Yeah, I think Ayan did have the calls, so partly being
that's probably it.
And then picking up some of the turrets as well. But yeah, it's just been Team Liquid managing to play on side lanes well and picking off some of the members that have been straggling for KC. And I think that's kind of where now, with the Nocturne on board, it does become a little bit more difficult for KC to really get plays here. They can't really push out mid. They haven't been able to get as much control on side lanes because of the Nocturne, which is stopping them getting the mid lane turret and kind of pushing those advantages forward.
Yeah, it feels like the key players right now for each team is Jose for Team Liquid. The Nocturne ultimate is going to determine so many of their plays. And then Busio on KC, but
there it is. That's a lot of damage towards this Vayne. Does go invisible, though, underneath the turret, so they're unable to actually kill Kana here, who still has teleport.
They did manage to flash away from that Orianna ult as well, so Kana stays alive. That's the immediate go button on the Baron, and Team Liquid trying to see if they can re-enter here.
Yeah. And it's only Yonko, JJ, and Morgan for now, as Morgan is going to get turned on. Great Narbar position, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough, as he's already taken down very, very low. He tries to crush away, flashes out, as that Cyclone tries to hold him into position, and Jan now moving forward. KC have backed away from the Baron, though. And they're just going to now realm warp themselves into the mid lane for no... What? Why did we do this? As now Quid is going to be able to help lock them down. That's a kill over to Jan, and that felt like a mistake.
That was certainly a mistake, Atlas. Right into the waiting arms of Core JJ. They wanted to get over to the wave to defend mid lane, but Core just lets him have it.
Yeah, who saw T1 do it against him?
That's what I was
like,
about
maybe
to
we
say.
need to do it, but that was a huge mistake, because I don't think they could turn back towards the Baron. Morgan had the TP, they didn't get the kill, so there was going to be too many members of Team Liquid at the Baron. And in trying to protect mid lane, they end up just giving across kills on top of the mid lane tower.
What was their vision like on the mid wave? They for sure saw Tristana. Did they not see the Rel right there? Because the Rise Realm Warp has been serving people up on silver platters this tournament.
Yeah, it seems to be a negative ultimate for the Rise team. We'll see whether that is going to be something that can be rectified as we move further on. But let's have a look at this one more time. I really thought that the turn on to Morgan was going to work for KC.
Yeah, they really almost were able to burst him, but he's able to flash out and escape. And then, so there is a control ward here that Core's in, but they see him there. So they just don't respect him. He popped his head out of the bush for a second there.
Yeah. And the Shattering Strike Flash just beautifully timed and positioned, but it was capitalizing on a mistake.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't keeping track of the flash cooldowns again.
Well, we'll just have to see whether that is going to continue here, as TL moving themselves into a really good position here in this game. Not quite able to take a Baron or anything like that off the back of that play, and only a 2,000 gold lead. For this next Drake, they should be able to even things out and get a little bit of control here with a composition that scales pretty nicely as we get later and later into the game.
Certainly does. The Orianna Nocturne combo, Atlas.
It does feel like it's a lot of like keep it simple. We have a phrase, it's called Kizaja, which is keep it simple, Rise Group. It does roll off the tongue. I'm really glad, because like we thought that when we came up with it. And it just means that just build compositions that are easy to execute, make them work. You can focus on fundamentals. You don't need to worry about how the team fights are going to work. And this is Kizaja to a T.
Yeah,
it's
and there's
beautiful.
There's so many good targets to use your combo on.
Yeah.
So lots of squishy available targets for them to try and burst.
The Seeker's Arm Guard was bought on reset by the Ziggs, though, so Kalist is kind of taken away as one of those targets. That ward doing work here to spot out where Team Liquid is.
Yeah, but KC not exactly in position. They do spot that ward out, though, and they are going to back away from the Baron.
Yeah, it's Yehu has the Realm Warp, though, and he's been playing heavily on this bottom side, so I think Team Liquid are hoping they could get that cooldown out of Yehu, but with 20 seconds now until Dragon, this becomes
I don't know. The cooldown has been working very well within team fights
that
with
is
Team
fair.
Liquid so
Yeah,
far,
yeah.
so maybe they don't want to get that one out.
Yeah, let's see, too. Can they protect Orianna? Because Quid has been doing a lot of work here, and now he's set up for another possible combo with Jose. Little flank around possibility from Yike. He's kind of, since they had pushed on bottom side really heavily, maybe he was thinking we approach this Dragon from bottom side instead of mid. TL are going to get the mid prow themselves. They're going to push it that way and enter from top.
Yeah, I feel like KC's control of the Drakes so far this game, though, have been pretty
Busio.
fantastic as Busio goes in. I don't know about that one. He's just dead. Wasn't able to click any buttons onto anyone and just goes down. And now KC just have to scatter. They'll have to give up this Dragon. And can TL take even more?
They have to give up so much control as well. It means that there's already kind of that wave that's been pushed in mid that Team Liquid can reconnect with and also potentially move over towards the Baron area. Busio can make it back out in time, but they're controlling the map so well right now.
Yeah, I mean, the KC comp is so fragile, right? You have to make split-second decision.
Not very Kizaja.
No, it's not. You have to hit these combos. If they don't get a stun to play off of, then nobody else is going to go in. And so the Baron now is the next threat. Busio, though, back on the table. Support death timers are pretty short.
The Rel.
Well, Core is going to get in there with the Magnus Storm. They look to turn this fight around. Busio going to be the first target. Mega Inferno Bomb comes in, though. The Cyclone's fantastic as they do manage to get a kill back, but Jan is just untouched. Yehu taking so much damage, and now the resets start to come in. Jan really feeling like he's hit his stride in this game, and TL, they didn't want the Baron. They just wanted to kill them all.
kill them all, and then take the resets here. They've got a lot of extra cash to spend. Let's take a look at it, though, because Core JJ, as you called him out, he sweeps over the wall. They get another big Core JJ rel engage. And then Tristana and Jose can both go over, and here comes a Shockwave as well. They're going to be able to get this one on multiple members. That's 4 members in Quid's Shockwave.
Absolutely tears KC apart. KC thought they had their moment, but Team Liquid just baiting them in.
The
knowing
whole
they had the
time,
ultimate to
Yon
come through.
had Buster Shot.
Yeah.
Like, even if they had have tried to get on top of him, he still has the cooldown. Oh
Look
my
at the
goodness.
Shockwave damage. You can see how much it's doing Quid on the Orianna, putting in work.
This also bodes really well for the series for Team Liquid if Quid is not nervous in game number 1. He talked a lot about it when we had him up on the desk, you know, in their series versus T1 and in the past series as well throughout his career. So it's very good to see for NA fans if Quid is feeling comfortable and confident in the games. And, of course, if he has a good performance here in number 1.
I think if you're ever going to be nervous, ever, it's when you're a mid laner playing against Faker in an international tournament. I'm not blaming Quid for that one at all, ever.
Speaking of T1, we're going to do a little Baron here off Vision.
A little bit of a cheeky one, but they do have a lot of control of this game for now. And this Baron should just go over to them. Yike is going to poke his head in, but Yon, we mentioned the Buster Shot. He does have it, uses it, and Yike going to have to just try and get himself out of there. Now the Nocturne ult does come on through. There's the Shockwave, but it's avoided by Busio just beautifully as they've taken down the Trist already. Quid now in a lot of trouble, but he does manage to at least take out Busio, but Core JJ going to be required to stop Quid from going down, and the Baron was not secured. And KC are just going to say thanks for the leash.
KC find the moment to bring it back with the Realm Warp. That actually works out perfectly.
Yeah, Yon took so much damage from the Baron. Yon got so low for the Baron.
Oh, wait a sec.
All right, looking for an angle here is once again Core JJ finding an angle. That is a lot of damage as Yike's in a lot of trouble, gets the Cyclone down, and Canner is trying to get these autos in. Yehu is a monster, but it's a massive ulti from Morgan into the wall. Yehu gets Baron involved, and he's going to go down to the Baron shot as Canner just gets out of there. Spawn's losing his mind, and the Baron stays alive.
You know who wins NA versus EU? It's the Baron.
Baby.
Baron Nashor wins!
What an insane fight, though, because Yike goes in and turns the focus from Team Liquid, but it's the Realm Warp that ends up bringing in Yehu, flashes the Orianna ult, gets a ton of damage down with Busio, but it's as they try to follow up, that's kind of where it starts to fall apart, because Quid separates, Yehu goes a little bit too far trying to step up, and as they turn back towards the Baron, that's when Team Liquid fall back on Core JJ.
Man, I love League of Legends. We're back at the Baron, guys.
We're doing it again. It's KC
We've got
kind of
it.
a cheeky ward over the wall, but they don't have any players. So this Baron is finally going to be secured by TL. I'm pretty sure Baron actually last hit at a triple kill in that last fight. Very impressive play out of the Purple Worm. We're going to need that that highlight reel, I think, in the package towards the end of the day. As we now have Morgan going in, looking for an angle, as that was not the option that Kaliss was looking for, but that is quite a decent stopwatch. Still, it's just not going to do anything. He's going to go down. That's going to be an inner turret, and this is exactly what you don't want, is to have your main form of wave clear dead when the Baron is knocking at your front door.
I mean, that tower did nothing to Morgan. Actually was doing negative damage to him. So yeah, good tower dive from him. And
we've got another angle here as Jose Diodo just going to give them the thumbs up in multiple different ways. TL now just going to look to end this game. First Nexus turret is now taking damage. Jose with Paranoia available. Yike is in a lot of trouble. There it is. He's going to follow him to the fountain. And the Nexus turrets will be falling. Decent amount of AoE, but Yehu goes golden. They need him to actually do damage. But the Nexus is now being focused. TL looking for game 1 in this EU versus NA battle to bring them one game up in the series. They're going to grab some kills first, and that is going to be that 1-0 for Team Liquid Alienware.
Woo, what a banger opener right there.
Man, we said it at the beginning of the day, probably the best series. I think it's already there. I'm going to go out on a limb. All biases aside, I know we like watching our teams win. Some teams have been doing some winning, apart from Deep Cross Gaming, but so far, this has been so entertaining. More of this, please, gentlemen.
Dagda?
Yeah. It's your turn. Your turn next, Dagda. Your turn next.
Yeah, well, this has gone to 5 games. We all know what's going to happen, so this is just a quick pit stop, you know? It'll be all right.
KC just very, very generous, giving us as many games as possible. But, man, that was one heck of a game. Gentlemen, what did you make of it?
Oh, well, we spent a little bit too much time talking about 80 carries at the start of the day, and junglers apparently was all about top lane. My God,
that one coming. It hurts, but if I keep shouting, maybe the pain will go away.
I mean, Morgan has been on one in this tournament. It is crazy because it's so unexpected for me, where when he first came into the LCS, everyone was talking to me about this guy is the GOAT laner. He's so hard to play against. You can't breathe. But by the end of this split, when I talk to top laners, they're saying, yeah, Morgan hasn't really improved. That's why they put him on tanks. He's no longer much of a force in laning. You know, he's kind of just there. And he comes to this tournament. He's chain solo killing Dorian. He's solo killing Kana after getting cheese level 1 and counterpicked against a Vayne exhaust. Like, that is actually crazy.
Yeah, and it definitely takes two to tango. I do feel like Kana made some mistakes and allowing that to happen, but Morgan punishing it so well.
And of course, Morgan kind of being this reliable rock for the team when the rest of the map was a little bit messy, right? We saw some hiccups in the bottom lane, Jan stumbling a little bit, Busio finding these creative angles. But when push came to shove, TL managed to hold the line, which in that last sequence of play, we were going back and forth. Oh, that's a throw. Oh, they threw. Oh, this guy outplayed. Oh, that guy outplayed. So I think thanks to the Cisco network, we can take one more look at what was probably the wildest sequence we have seen at MSI thus far, starting off looking so good for Team Liquid and getting really hairy really fast.
So a big mistake here is Jose Dodo moves off the Baron, and we see Jan just get one shot. The Ziggs damage is there, still had flash up, he was tanking the Baron. Big mistake, and it looks initially favored towards KC, but then as they start to disengage, you see KC move on to the Baron, starting to take more damage, and Morgan is the one who ends up making the big play to decide this.
Exactly. Morgan comes back here. It was obviously split comms between Jan and Jose. Do we peel? Do we stay on? But then Core, look at this engage from Core. He was stellar throughout this whole game. Flashes in, Kalista does not react, gets burst down, had the Seekers, but just got one shot, and then Morgan kites out the exhaust and gets Mega, flashes in, catches Yehu against the wall there with the last of his mana. Quid is able to finish him off, and that was such a big sequence of play because there were mistakes both from Jan or from Jose, whoever you want to put it on, and then from Kalista, and it was kind of back and forth, but it's also brilliant plays from people on either side that are capitalizing on these little missteps.
And it's just so crucial that you have a player who can step in these moments. And as we've been saying, and we will continue to say, Morgan really was that guy. Because again, from the get-go, we saw KC prioritize Khan on the top side. They get the counter pick Vayne. They set him up with the level 1 gank. You take a look, it feels like this should have just been over. We were ready to pack it up in terms of what we would see from Morgan on the top side of the map, but he recovered so fantastically, and this does feel like where we have to leverage a little bit of criticism towards Kana.
I mean, this is a really smart play, because you already have a favorable matchup for the Vayne, especially with Exhaust as a summoner. Morgan has to start the hop as well to get away from this, already low HP, and he doesn't reset here, decides he doesn't have enough time and actually moves back in the lane, so he's at a massive disadvantage, and then...
Exactly, and this, honestly, Kana does almost every stage of this wrong. You roll into the Gnar with Wallop. Then the exhaust comes out after the boulder toss is already hit. Then he uses the condemn. He still has flash, doesn't flash either of the Wallops, gets hit by another boulder toss, goes down without even using the flash. And yeah, this is really beautiful from Morgan, but Kana played every aspect of that 1v1 wrong, and when your team is giving you draft resources, level 1 resources, you can't make those kind of mistakes.
Yeah, because we so often see, you know, Camille plus Ziggs, Camille plus Mel have a really strong level 1 on the back of the Ignite and the Camille. They sacrificed that bot lane to put that attention top, and then he was just ultimately irresponsible with that lead.
And ultimately, while both teams had individual members that made mistakes, it's TL that walk away rightfully so with the win. We didn't even get to talk about mid lane, but the Nocturne Orianna, so hotly contested and so well utilized by TL, really brought back what was a difficult back and forth game. So on the opposite side for KC, I think we need to see more from Kalista. He had a good start, but wasn't reacting fast enough in those final fights, and we definitely need to see more from Kana.
He got so far ahead of the curve. There was that time when he was just hitting bot lane tower, getting plates for free, getting farm for free, got more plates in the top lane. He was super ahead of the curve as Ziggs had a lot of damage in his build, and then a couple of fights where the ult wasn't hitting the right targets, and then just dying with flash, with Seeker's arm guard up. Really felt rough, and it is his, you know, first mage game, but when the game started, I was like, hey, he looks really solid on this. This is a carryable game for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be exciting, but right after the break, game 2 coming up next. Can KC bounce back, or will TL bring us the match point?
Bounce back. I vote bounce back.
This is your time, this is your moment, this is your fight. Fight
is your fight. Fight for your life.
Tired of the off-season blues once Worlds is over? Fear not, because League of Legends is coming to the very first Esports Nations Cup, where players split from their clubs and compete for national pride. Will China test every limit imaginable? Will South Korea turn every game into a macro masterclass? Will EU and NA actually play in the correct lanes? The final event of the year is not to be missed. Esports Nations Cup 2026. See you in Riyadh.
In esports, legendary moments demand speed, scale, and soul. Players and fans bring the heart. Technology brings it to life. Every frame, every stat, every decisive play. In partnership with League of Legends Esports, we're driving digital innovation that empowers the esports ecosystem to keep expanding. So players can focus on the game, and fans can focus on the moment.
Times like this are where star players shine and new legends step up, where legacies are built and dreams are either realized or ripped apart.
He still doesn't die! You cannot step the Vega and expect to live to talk about tomorrow! He blocked it well with the Arcane Storm, doing so much work in Gen 3! They are just going to ace them!
When I was a player, if I was to like make a misplay, maybe it's my mouse, maybe it's my armrest, something feels wrong. If you were at home, you wouldn't do that.
The Infinite Precision Armrest is part of the larger Circulab on Stage standard initiative, aimed to bring your home or training room settings to the tournament stage.
이제 저뿐만 아니라 다른 선수들도 세팅을 더 원활하게 할 것 같고
가장 편안할 때 더 강력한 플레이가 자연스럽게 나옵니다.
Center stage! Times to make your vibe get down. Step true with a big vibe and sound. Times to make your vibe get down.
Attack the dance floor, 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 attack the dance floor like a bulldozer.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to MSI 2026. One game down in this best of 5, and Team Liquid.
Look at that smile. Look at Jose over there.
And you can tell exactly why he is smiling, because he is now into the HyperX Champion Select for game number 2 with a victory under his belt, having played a pretty beautiful Nocturne game. But I think, you know, this has been about like the top lane, the solo lanes, right? When I think a lot of us were talking about bot side of the map earlier on in the day.
I actually think, though, coming into this, KC will start to shift their focus to that bottom lane. I think with the Nautilus ban, they're looking towards things like the Ashe Seraphine, which has been their kind of comfort pick over the course of this split. And we even got to see it coming out against T1 as well. I imagine with the Bard ban as well, they will just go back towards this.
Well, let's see what is going to happen. I think no more experimentation is what a lot of people will be calling for as far as that bottom lane is concerned. It is now kind of, what are we going to be picking up? The Ryze, the Orianna, both of them unavailable, but the Anivia that was banned in the last game, I guess, is theoretically an option, but less intriguing when the Ryze has been banned. Still taking a while to figure out exactly what to lock in, as finally it will be that Seraphine. So we are looking at the Ashe Seraphine option. What we have seen is the responsive Ashe Lulu to deny it, but I don't know whether that's where TL want to go.
Yeah, it's interesting because there have been so many different types of responses. You know, the Ezreal Karma is kind of the tried and true old, like super good in lane, poke them out, have lots of pressure as well. So we'll see what direction they decide to go.
Yeah, they've also been happy, and like Kalist used to be a big Senna player, so can also fall back to like Senna Seraphine if you really want to in that regard. But we'll have to see, is it is going to be the Lee Sin. So do they try and take away the Ashe? But I mean, you're going to be very happy about a Lee Sin for Jose Diodo. He's kind of popped off on that Kobe.
He's got a bit of comfort.
You guys heard about that?
Yeah.
You heard about that?
Yeah, you wouldn't shut up about it, to be honest.
So it was doing pretty good on this champ. Yeah, let's see what they decide to go with into the Ashe Seraphine, because you can go kill lanes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it looks like
this has been a favorite that we've witnessed, is like Mel Pike into the Ashe Seraphine as a bit of a kill option.
Yeah, but I just double-checked. He hasn't won on us. Which makes me happy.
Yeah, that was the warm-up one, you know.
Yeah.
That was the training episode.
Oh, there is the Rumble. I really love it. Like, Encore and the Equalizer is a lot of powers. There's Ezreal Seraphine.
So so people do Ezreal Seraphine as like the backup usually when they don't have the Ashe.
Yeah, when the Ashe has been banned.
I think it's because of Mel. They like, you need the extra safety. You know, they can't have too many vulnerable, no mobility targets.
It's also, you really don't want an Ashe arrow coming back at you, which can often happen when you're playing against the Mel.
I think you also don't want
sense.
a Encore coming back at you or a True Shot Barrage coming back at you. So there is still a lot of value for that rebuttal.
That freaking Mel champion couldn't reflect all these spells.
Yeah, exactly. As Morgan going to be taking the Blacksmith towards the top side of the map. This has been his go-to counter matchup for the Rumble.
Yeah.
We found a lot more counter matchups. In fact, one of his old favorites, the Yorick, does work into the Rumble as well, but goes back to this one and will be able to augment the rest of his team.
And even though Morgan just totally bodied Kana, and you're like, hey, put Morgan back on a carry. Morgan actually was doing really well for tanks for TL. This was something that they really indexed highly into in playoffs. And having that Ornn ultimate to go along with this is going to be great engage to try and attack the Seraphine.
And it makes me a little nervous because Morgan also bodied Doran in this matchup only a couple of days ago. So I do think he's been absolutely spectacular. And I think it's been super interesting because I know Morgan didn't do as well domestically as people were hoping. But this tournament, he's been a bit forced to be reckoned with. He's been absolutely incredible.
He's come back home, he's got the good kimchi, and he's feeling fantastic. That's what I would assume. That being said, LA is pretty good for Korean.
You
guys aren't doing too bad. You aren't doing too bad over there. But the Nefiri going to be taken away. I imagine Pyke is just going to be banned, but it doesn't really feel like a core JJ champion to me. But it will be the Yone hitting the deck first.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see what they go with this time around, because now you're seeing the Ezreal, right? So it's a little bit less powerful to do the full-on kill lane that would want to take advantage of like Ashe with no mobility. So I definitely agree with you as far as Pyke also not really being one of Core's go-to champions. So see what they opt to change to.
Yeah, on the opposite side, though, it does look like they're trying to set up for the Azir for Yehu. This has been something he's been very comfortable on, even though the rest of the globe was kind of fallen to the wayside on the Azir pick. This was still a massive one for KC, and with the Yone ban, I imagine that's what they're looking at again here, trying to just limit the answers that Quick can have into that pick.
Well, it is just a lot of comfort for KC so far, as we do see the Syndra taken away and then the Rek'Sai to follow. I've heard so many whispers of this Rek'Sai jungle that's going to be coming out that are not going to be happening today.
Dude, I swear that nerf to the E that was very strong. So,
it was.
So we'll see if it does end up.
All right, that's another way of playing the bottom lane, if that is indeed where it's going.
This is much more core JJ. You're
Yeah.
like, the Pike kill, not quite so much. He freaking loves the Pantheon, though. So gives that point and click, and they're still going to have huge kill pressure, huge burst potential. Plus, I mean, honestly, we'll see if this bug actually gets locked in. But
yeah, it is the Yike specialty. It's his pocket pick and he's brought it a couple of times. Maybe not the area to bring it out. We'll have to see. Is they're just going to lock in the Anivia in mid lane instead.
This is a very slow-moving composition so far, as Busio, without the ability to hover the Vayne, goes for the Space Vayne once again. But we'll see what he is going to be locking in. We're looking for a jungler, unless Rumble wants to go back there, but it's been quite a few years since the Rumble jungle's been a thing.
Yeah, the Anivia is an odd one for me, because usually we see it into the Rise, because it's like, oh, I want something with a lot of short range, and then I can try and play through that. But you have like an Ornn that can break through the wall, you've got long range engage, you've got Mel who's able to play outside of the range of that wall as well. So I don't know how much value you're really going to get from the Anivia in this one, but at least with the...
Build another wall.
I was going to say, yeah.
So he can't break all of them.
Yeah, and I was going to say you got the hot pot combo now that's slightly frozen alongside it, so I don't know what we're calling this one, but at least you do have that lockdown.
Nengmyeon is like
cold
noodles. Okay, that's Yasuo.
So I was going to say, yeah, when they banned the Yone, you're like, oh, let's take away more AD options from Quid because they're running the Mel bottom.
They didn't know he had a brother.
He could just go with the original brother. Back to the Yasuo. Yasuo into Anivia.
And Yasuo into Seraphine sounds incredible, personally.
I mean, the wind wall is going to get, some good value for sure.
I just don't know whether it's actually going to quite work against the Anivia that's very, very good at controlling space, right?
Yeah, that's my biggest worry for the Yasuo in lane is like, yes, you've got the wind wall to try and block the stun from the Flash Frost.
Wait for the last second
but
swap and Morgan plays the Yasuo again. That doesn't sound good.
Can you calm down a little bit?
I don't know. I watched game one, man. I don't know what to expect.
But also for Busio, how the hell do you get any value out of the Seraphine ult? Like, it's either wind walled or it's reflected. Like, you just never get value from it at any point in time.
Well, you get the cooldown of both wind wall and rebuttal, whose cooldowns are exceptionally long. So that's all I'm getting.
Yeah.
That's what I got for you there, Dagda, and that's it. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those are your drafts. Once again, I mean, a bit crazy. But this time I feel like TL has decided to go a little bit further off the deep end than KC has. It feels like KC going back to their roots, back to some champions that they have a lot of confidence on. As let's get onto the Rift for game number 2 of this best of 5 and see whether KC can even up the series. All right, gentlemen. Let's see, no weird starts at the beginning of this one so far. Jose and Yak just going to be spotting each other out. Yehu just over to support as well. And not going to be too much funny business as Quid just getting some vision down. Counter vision already there. And some pretty standard starts.
Okay, Yasuo into the Deathfire Touch Anivia. Let's see it, Quid. They do have a lot of knockups to be able to set him up as well with the Ornn, with the Lee Sin.
Yep.
And Jose has been very active when he has had that Lee Sin.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Vendetta is Riftbound's next set. It's arriving July 31st and brings together new champions, iconic rivalries, and beautiful art from across Runeterra. There are some summoner spells in the bottom lane, but I'm going to get back to this. Whether you want to collect or play, Vendetta has something for you. And TL and KC have a lot of fighting each other here in the bottom lane so far in this game. It is going to be KC getting the advantage, though, and it looks like the Ezreal Seraphine is working out quite nicely. Busio is pretty good at this champ, right, Dagda?
Yeah, it's kind of been the go-to domestically. Like, it has been one of his strongest champions. It does mean he's more kind of focused on the lane state, which I think Busio has actually been spectacular at this MSI, at actually moving around the map on things like the Camille and trying to get impact in the early stages. But this is, we want to fully invest in winning in the early stages and oftentimes look for invades with Yike afterwards. Maybe less so on the Jarvan, but we'll have to keep an eye out for it.
It's interesting too because Jose did the 3-camp recall for Longsword start here for jungle for Lee Sin. So since both junglers are heading down to this bottom side map, if we do have the clash down there at the same time, then he is going to have the extra Longsword for the fight.
Yeah, Morgan looking a bit aggressive here towards the top side of the map, as we can see, kind of taking some damage as that brutal proc does come on through. Focusing on mid lane though, is who does have the egg, of course, so not going to be dying if he loses that health bar, but still not going to be feeling fantastic. And so far, Quid doing pretty well on this Yasuo in the mid lane, 24-18, as these minions are going to help even things up for KC.
Yeah, nice early push from him, and he goes to make sure that they're going to be able to get this bottom side Scuttle Crab for Jose. Bottom lane also forced to back off as Yike went for his reset after the full clear, and he wants to head towards top crab, but I mean, Quid can just move back up here as well, and maybe we'll get a cross from Jose to get both.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's looking for. Safeguards his way over, and Quid will be able to help usher him towards that top side of the map as well. Double buffs here for Jose. As the ward does go down, Flag and Drag is good damage onto the Lee Sin so far, but Quid gets the inside track. There's the exhaust onto this Jarvan. The wind wall, fantastic to block everything that Yahoo wants to do. Yike going to go down. That's first blood over to Quid as Cannon's looking to move his way in. The tiny wall is going to work out, but there's the Sonic Wave out of Jose. And now Quid is trying to get back to Morgan, who gets the knock up, but down goes the mid laner. And now Jose comes over to make this a one fight for TL.
Huge skirmish here from Team Liquid. They know they have the extra power from the early Yasuo here in lane. And if that Scuttle Crab had actually been walking down towards the fight, then Quid, he was trying to flash up so he could try and E away on the Scuttle Crab. He ends up going down, but still the 2-for-1 there and the first blood.
And it looked like miscommunication from KC as well. Kana had push on top side, and it started to move, but then went back to lane. So looked like Yike was trying to call both solo laners into the equation, but with Kana being late, TL ended up taking the fight.
Yeah, Kana does manage to pick up a kill in the fight, so that will help him out in his matchup against Morgan. That is the only part of the good news here, as Yahoo is still in a little bit of trouble. Teleports back to lane though, gets that health bar filled up once again, and I'm pretty sure still has the egg after everything was said and done. As JJ spots Busio and Yike moving on in, and will be able to back himself out of the way of the enemy jungle.
Yeah, let's take another look. So Jose is very well aware that he could be in this bush, so they're kind of flirting around with it. And then Quid comes over, early exhaust, as you pointed out. And then they can follow nicely. Jose hit his Q, so they could follow Yike very quickly. As you're mentioning, you know, the distance between the top laners actually get the kill so quickly that the slight early arrival here.
Yeah, and that's why I was surprised, because Kana had already walked down. He warded the Pixel Brush and then went back up into lane as Yike went for the Flag and Drag. So looked like Yike maybe thinking, oh, Kana's already moving. I can start this play. He'll arrive in time.
He indeed. Exhaust from my mid laner.
Yeah, Quid having a pretty good time. It's okay. Yike now moving in towards his bottom side. Jose moving over as well. Really good position defensively here for Jose. Just making sure that he is shadowing where Yike wants to be on this map. Is Yon down to about 50%, but I don't think they're going to be dying anytime soon. But some control here for KC so far.
Yeah, Team Liquid, their bottom lane though, just trying to avoid poke right now while they get the objective. They know Jose and Quid have got this under control, and I mean, Lee Sin is good into Jarvan. It's just that I think the Jarvan pick was just for comp all.
Yeah.
And so in the little skirmish though, you don't get to use, you know, your ultimates and your synergies for your comp or anything. And Jose really coming up big there.
And it also means he's accelerated when it comes towards levels, right? Level 6 now for himself. He can try and look
really
for
nice
rebates.
X-Flash here as they're looking for a potential all-in, but JJ taking a lot of damage. Bustio is burning. Korn knows that he's dead. The flash away is perfect, though. Bustio keeps himself alive, and that is the kill going over to KC.
Kill goes over. Bustio had to invest the flash in the end, but still, here's the invade we were talking about.
Well, Yike is just going to back away. That's exactly what's going on here, as the blue buff is just going to be held onto here by Jose. And Morgan getting a positional advantage as well means that Yahoo moving over is not going to be enough to get KC control back. So that will be buff stolen. And Jose should just be able to walk his way out of there as well. Smite it down, and they will take that one away. So good advantage here from TL, but the gold entirely even between the two squads.
Pantheon's coming here too. JJ kind of sneaking around into the side brush.
All right, possible angle here is another Hex Flash from JJ to get that control ward down. KC have just backed away already though, so no worries just yet.
Yeah, this is just not a good timer for KC because Jose's got half the level lead, which means he has level 6 over the Jarvan. So Lee Sin, huge power differential at the moment, and KC have to give up that area.
Yeah, Core JJ a little bit behind on levels himself. Only level 4 at the minute. As Busio has hit that level 5, looking for the encore.
Yike still needs this camp for the level 6, though. He's very far behind, so should be able to get it, but you can see how much KC are investing in making sure that Yike can try and farm just his own jungle, let alone trying to get control anywhere else. And as a Jarvan, this is where you want to be at your most impactful. So TL managing to shut down Yike is good, but Kalist and Busio winning out on that bottom side, like that's where the other side of the gold lead is coming from. They've been absolutely destroying Yon and Core JJ in this matchup.
And now that they do have access to the level 6s there, for the Mel, for the Ezreal. We'll see if there are some visits from jungles. A lot more burst damage available, but as of right now, it's the mid jungle for Team Liquid that have dictated a lot of the pace of the game.
Yep, and now the Void Grubs have spawned. Right now we see KC moving up there towards that top side of the map as Quid dashing on over, but Yehu is doing a lot more now that he does have access to the Glacial Storm to try and hold this lane in order, and Yike will be able to get the first grub at least. We'll see whether all 3 will go over to KC.
Yeah, I mean, KC, the Kalist walks all the way over there, so Yon is getting alone time on the bottom tower, and like this is an Ezreal without teleports, an exhaust Ezreal, so he's going to have to walk all the way back down. They do, get the grubs for their investment, or at least 2 of them.
Yeah, Jose just going to be able to take this one down. Resonating Strike going to do it. So, I mean, TL getting 1 grub. I mean, I think KC is still going to be absolutely fine with this as the beat drops. And Jose is still going to go in. There's a flag and drag as Jose thinks that he might have caught Busio out, but he just backs away himself. So really nice secure of the first couple of grubs. TL get at least 1 back, but is still not the end of the world for KC.
Yeah, but you're still losing this top side. So on the initial invade that TL had, Yike couldn't get that Grump because he was afraid of TL invading. Now after going for the objective on the top side, loses that camp again. So overall, Team Liquid have just been keeping Yike down this entire time. You can see a 2-level lead. Yike still will manage to equal at least to 7 when he gets towards this bottom side, but it's still very messy for Yike.
Yeah. Again, I just go back to, I think they really wanted the spicy hot pot. They wanted the Jarvan ult for the rest of their comp, the rest of their champions, but Jose here on the Lee Sin has opened up just such a massive individual lead. Bottom side, though, 2v1.
Yeah, Jan taking a little bit of damage here, but does just walk his way out. He will be fine, at least for the minute. Has his Hextech cookie at the ready. I think they spotted Yike moving in as there's the rebuttal. And that will be able to at least help him speed up, move out of the way alongside the flash.
And I think this is the one part of the map that KC can try and play around is the bot lane. Like already they've got a nice lead opening up for themselves. This will only grow now as well. And the fact that the flash is gone and Yon now means that they should be able to try and punish that again, if especially you're getting Team Liquid trying to play through this strong topside for invades.
Yeah, 100% agree right there. Ezreal here for Kalist looking quite good. Yeah. Definitely one of his favorite, most comfortable champions. And as you said, with Busio having so much success too, definitely will be a very powerful team fight when they bring those 2 in.
Yep, it's going to be the lane to play around, I think, for KC. And this composition is pretty stable. I think stable is the right word to talk about this, as in the meantime, KC now just going to be playing real far back from this outer turret that you can see Yike is hovering, as well as Yehu moving down towards the bottom lane as well, but does have to go back as the waves are going to be crashing in mid. And the Dragon going to be started up here. TL have double Dragon on the table.
But again, it does slow down Yike. He wanted to go into this top side to try and clear this top camps at its spawn, but instead was pulled down to cover for that play. So Team Liquid going to be able to take Dragon and then sweep through their own jungle up towards top side. So again, it's just value for the jungler, Jose Diodo.
Exactly. And Jose is wielding an Eclipse right now. So Yike being on little pieces, you have no business going over there. That's why I'm so focused on jungle.
And it's like the best dueling item to pick up first as well for like that one item spike. You're feeling
And I was told earlier it was a full moon, so I don't know what an eclipse is doing here at all. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't understand that part.
We're
of
gonna
the
have
show
to consult the analysts on that one.
Yeah, they'll need to fill us in on what exactly that meant. I'm going to need an explainer because that was weird to say the least. Okay, Yike going to be starting up this Krug camp, and that is going to be the last one. We'll see where he's going to be going next. True Shot Barrage going to be sent back towards Kalist. He doesn't want it, and so it is just going to be sailing around Runeterra once again. Yehu back in this mid lane, and I do feel like KC, this composition is just very happy to play this one slow. The slower this game goes, the better it is for the EU representative. And so right now, TL, I think the ball is in their court to get this one moving faster, and with an Infernal Soul this game, that is really going to help if they can keep stacking these Drakes.
Yeah, I think Team Liquid would really like to try and open up one of these side lane towers because their 1-4 is pretty oppressive. Like, once Quid gets a couple of items, it's going to be really difficult to keep him in check because Busio.
Yeah, going to get jumped on here by Jose Diodo. There is Core JJ from the sky, and where did Busio go?
He thought he was the one hiding here on the wall. He thought he was, you know, the one laying the trap.
Yeah, well, he was definitely hiding, but then they found him.
Yeah.
All right.
Daejeon ultimate right over the top there instantly.
Beautifully played by Core JJ, though. He has been phenomenal this tournament and did not hesitate for 1 second on that man drop. Okay, kind of looking for some harpoons, but does just get himself back over, and Jose is going to follow him. There is the ram coming through from Morgan as well. They are on the equalizer, but there's the knock-up, and down goes the rumble. And TL, they must have been listening to the broadcast, because we said they needed to keep going fast. Yike comes in to try and save the play, as the encore is extended by Yike, and they should be able to get Morgan for it. Really nicely done to get one back for KC.
Thank God we did, because that was about to be Team Liquid running away with a very big lead. They've been everywhere, but Busio's not safe.
Hold on. Hold on.
Jose doesn't have ult, though, so it's,
he was just being annoying.
Yeah, it's going to be stops on backs. He can't kill him again quite yet. Don't worry.
But yeah, this has been Team Liquid playing so well around this early jungle lead for Jose Diodo and making sure they're just getting in the face, abusing the matchup, and making sure that KC don't really get to play it. Although Yahoo,
he is looking a whole lot better here, is right on the edge of that stun as the exhaust has to come through here to avoid that frostbite from just killing this Yasuo. Okay, KC now should be able to move down, and 2.5 minutes on the Drake, so not really
Jose's there first, though. Jose's going to be here first, and he is 4 seconds away from his ult. 3, 2.
Q is going to miss as he looks for the safeguard. There's a mini stun, gets the knock up, so they pull the bird into the sky, take him down to the egg. The rest of KC trying to get over here. There's the double knock up from Quid, and Quid should be going down, but they get the bird first, as Quid is then going to be executed. Busio over the wall, and I think it's just a 1-for-1.
Yeah, 1-for-1, plus you count like maybe the passive egg.
Oh yeah, 1.5 for 1.
Maybe 1.2 or something like that. But yeah, they do get that, and then investing the extra teleport. So they drew out the teleport from Kana here. KC using the extra summoner spell to get here in time and defend him.
Yeah, and Jose plays this well. Gets the kick into the wall that sets up for Quid to be able to join. And even as this starts to play out, watch the knock-up coming through from Quid, because Yike tries to go for the flag and drag, but it gets interrupted there perfectly by Quid. And even though he does end up falling down, that really buys enough space to, 1, get the kill, 2, get the flash from Busio, and then able to back away.
Exactly. The extra summoner spells there invested by KC during the skirmish. We'll see about the next dragon. It's only a minute and 20 seconds away, and you know Team Liquid are going to set up again.
Yeah, and I think this is where KC really need to turn this game around. On that next dragon fight, if they deny that, it slows down TL so considerably. Adds an extra 10 minutes to a potential soul timer, and gives you that extra space in order to get this composition online, as they are on this Rift Herald already.
I wonder here for TL, because Core does have his ulti, and Jose is here on 2 items, okay? This is Sundered Sky and Eclipse.
Yeah, and you mentioned Core JJ's ulti. Well, he is now going to be over a wall as Yahoo over to the side, not going to get picked up by that tornado, as now Core realizing that he's in a lot of trouble, has to try and commit to this one. It is Rift Herald secured, and they'll trade that for their Pantheon, as Morgan, a little bit late to this party, but sometimes it's better late than never, although maybe not this time. As TL just trying to get back towards their mid lane, as Morgan just says, get out of the way, wall. And he is going to be able to at least headbutt that one down. Now the Ram's coming in, and maybe late is actually better than never, as they're in the Cataclysm, but Yike is no longer there. He's been taken out first, as Jose just trying to safeguard around the fight. Yahoo getting whatever he can done, as Cannon with the Flame Spitter. Quid kept alive by the safeguard. Why are they allowed to get out of this one? Quid will be taken out, as Jose, I mean, he's so much money if they can get that kill, but they're unable to do so. But still KC getting some big kills back.
KC just about managed to turn it around, the 1-for-2, but Yahoo still here with Core JJ. Will just back away. Big win, even though they do lose the Rift Herald.
Yeah, it's all kind of domino effect from Core JJ's ultimate. Him going down early, putting TL at a numbers disadvantage. KC, they really do make them pay for it. Getting the extra kills here, the extra money back. They can push topside. The only drawback for KC is that Yike did go down, so they couldn't like rush over to Dragon. But also, he is back up now.
Kind of stuck around so long on that top side. It does mean that Team Liquid kind of in a position now to contest this, because Morgan already coming out with Quid. I don't know if they do this quite fast, or maybe they do.
I mean, Jose is going to be able to put down the Rift Herald to try and help out. Could be a bit of a Battle Herald situation here as they get the knock-up onto Yehu. He's over his own wall, and it's actually not working out for him. And now the Rift Herald is going to invade the Dragon Pit. Yike has to get out of there. True Shot Barrage is not going to do anything at all. That's his teammate. As now Yehu tries to get out, gets stabbed by Core JJ, and that is going to be soul point over to TL.
Oh, the party continues, Atlas.
This series is weird, boys. I don't know what to do.
You're right about the timing on the contest, though. Exactly. They
There
get
we
back
go.
and they put down. Rift Herald gets used so that they can go for this play, combo onto the Anivia, and then the DPS wasn't there on Dragon, so they're allowed to continue, drive the Herald in, and Team Liquid retake control immediately.
And now is Shelly going to get a double charge? So she invades the Dragon Pit, charges the bottom turret, and then gets another one on the inner. That is the most overworked Shelly I've seen in my career.
Or a great holiday package deal that she's managed to get on that one.
Yeah,
The scenic
true.
route
A
and
lot of
half.
travel. Yeah.
Well, she was like, well, Core JJ died for me, so, you know, I'm really going to make you guys feel
I'm
worth
more
it.
of a resort tourist. You know, I like to go to one place and have a good time. This was definitely a lot more moving around that I was ready for. But Shelly might like it.
Yeah, but here you can see, like, Casey just don't really have the damage. Kana's super late because he went to push in topside. And Yehu walks up way too far. Jose with a great call there to just kick him again, set up for Quid. Now, he does a good job escaping, but you've now got the rest of Team Liquid that can just get into the pit, push KC away, and it's just an easy Dragon setup with Yehu eventually getting caught.
And it's this kind of chaos that this TL composition thrives in as well. And they are able to create it at a moment's notice based on Core JJ just falling on people from the sky.
But it also feels like a very different form from KC that we saw domestically. Like, team fights were their bread and butter as Yike now.
Yeah, Quid in a little bit of trouble in the side lane, but now Core is coming from the sky yet again. He does get charmed up, and now Jose making his way in. It's Canna that turns up, though. There's the ulti from Quid, gets out of the equalizer and takes down Yike. These shields are working out so beautifully, but they take out the Yasuo in immediate trade, and then Core JJ taxis his way to Yehu and keeps himself alive. What the hell? Core's playing the best series of his life.
So is Jose, baby. I mean, honestly, nah, it's just a regular Lee Sin game from her boy.
Yeah, exactly right. He's going to find Busio here. And Core JJ won Worlds in 2017. That was a pretty good series as well. But I like recent memory, my God, he's playing so well.
I don't know. I'm having
not
fun.
a fan. I'm not a fan. Not at all. Yeah.
Hey. We're setting up for the reverse sweep. It's okay.
Yeah.
As this looked really good for KC to start things off. Catching Yasuo's in side lanes, it's a tale as old as time.
I mean, this TL, they have really been thriving in these skirmishes, especially with all the mobility here. Jose and Quid keep comboing for these knockups, so they're able to get enough damage done. And Jose is so far ahead, he's king on the Rift. Core JJ, as you're saying, he's still able to like flash and it's done.
He was on 20 health like the whole team fight.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just the fact that Team Liquid, again, are in such a good position to rotate towards these plays. They have the TP, they had that push in mid, and they just can't keep up. Oh my God, that is horrific.
That is so cursed. I love it.
Jungle diff, boys?
I would say so. I think he's pretty legendary. And I mean, Jose is as a ladder player in general. But yeah, he's 8-0-3. This Lee Sin is just a monster.
But it does, again, I was kind of starting it before we got the pick, was that it doesn't feel like the KC, really. But yeah, I mean, this is not the style that I'd be looking at.
Yeah, and the Coinbase gold grind, not something that Dagda wants to talk about, but Jose very, very far ahead, 3.6K. And yeah, it's basically, if you're going to look at where the money's coming in from, let's just go with everywhere. Yike now in a lot of trouble as they've really been able to hold him down this game. Out of turret, now being sieged down, and they haven't done a whole lot of work as far as opening up the map through mid is concerned, and the wave clear is still going to be there in spades here for KC. As Core JJ moves to number 11 as far as assists, and yeah, I think this is the right time to have a giant Core JJ on the side of the screen.
Okay. Honestly, too, there's not a really huge possibility for the comeback because it's super difficult, as you're mentioning, to work into the Mel Reflect and the Yasuo wall as well. So
it feels like
do
the
you
old
want to like twist that knife more,
Yasuo
or,
combo.
Yeah.
Like how much more torque can you get in that knife? You know? Yeah.
Well, no, we don't have the Dragon Soul yet, Dagda.
Oh, True Shot Barrage as Yon just launches himself towards KC. And, okay, Sonic Wave from the darkness here as Jose is very, very scary, but they think that they might have caught him here as the Ram comes on through. They're looking for Kalist. Quid's going to find him in that backline, but immediately gets exhausted, taken out as Jose gets a kickback onto Yike, but it doesn't really do anything at all. Equalizer now going to come on through as Core JJ going down lower and lower. The double snap from Yon is good, but they are out of teammates. Triple knockup from Morgan. He flashes over the wall, and he is still going to die as TL. I don't think you're fighting for this, Sol.
It's just because the Ornn ultimate did not hit Kalist there. He didn't get the knockup for Quid, and I've cursed them! No!
You've taken that knife out and stabbed him in the back, and I'm okay with that. Because KC managing to find that little bit of fight with Kalist, even getting that good flash away from Quid there in the midst of us, setting up for it, and now there's a lot of gold that they can pick up on the map, so this gold lead starting to dwindle for Team Liquid now.
Yeah, and it was only really 2,000 anyway, right? Like, that is not a ridiculous snowball or anything like that. Let's have a look at how this one was attempted to be set up here as they are so split, TL.
Yeah, so Core actually goes for Busio, but then, yeah, the Ornn ultimate not getting the knockup here towards Kalist means Quid gets deleted. And the Yasuo immediately out of the fight means they're not really going to be able to salvage this for Team Liquid, so then they're just trying to run everybody for themselves at this moment.
Yeah, and there you can see, just even with the lockup, Morgan trying to play frontline for Team Liquid still gets caught out at the end. So it is something back, and a little bit of time bought for KC. And you can still, like, the main focus for KC is Kalist. He's the one with a 2,000 gold lead in that bottom side, 3 items now in the Ezreal. If he is able to play his game, he's in a great spot, and that's why Team Liquid coming into that fight were trying to focus him down, just couldn't make it happen. So we need Kalist once more to kind of step up and try and play just on a knife's edge to keep himself safe, yet take down Team Liquid.
Yeah, needs to not get kicked. That's it's going to be the main thing, and that is precisely what he managed to do in that last fight. We saw how much better that went for him. As Jose looking for a bit of an angle here. Kalist very capable of just clearing out these minion waves over and over, and that outer turret just seems like a thorn in the side of TL, unable to really open up the map. And another 3 minutes until another chance at that Infernal Soul for Team Liquid. And I think it's going to be really important to get themselves on it. 24 minutes. And so the Baron up and available as well. Going to be a difficult objective to go for because, I mean, unless Morgan tanks it up, it's a little bit difficult for both teams to tank that particular objective this early in the game.
Yeah, Morgan's starting to upgrade people's Ornn items as well, hand out the extra value there just in time for these big objectives. And Team Liquid taking the other side of the map right now, wrapping around. All right. They do have a Pantheon ultimate ready again, so you have to be careful about overextending inside lanes. Kana rightfully pulls back while the rest of the team is getting Baron vision.
But look at the amount of vision that is there for Team Liquid. The observers just highlighted it. They kind of know exactly where everyone is if they walk through the enemy or their own jungle on KC's side, but being forced away here.
Yep, Quid in range of Jose. That is going to be the main thing here. Anytime he gets that Dragon Rage kick option, as now we've got Morgan making his way in as well. Jose getting himself out. The wall is avoided by TL quite nicely, and Yon getting some alone time with the turret. That is going to be a big deal. They desperately want to grab that. Only one plate left remaining here as Morgan possibly caught out. Does searingly charge his way out, but has to take the red carpet as Kana lays that one down. No flash available here for this on, and he has to try and turn and make something happen. It's just going to be an arcane shift forward. Kana's the one that locks down the kill in the end. That is kill score evened out. TL's gold lead down to 600. This game is anyone's right now.
Yeah, but what more can KC get? You can already see immediately Kana moves down towards the bottom side. They want to try and get some of the standing gold. Quaid pushes out top, so there isn't an option for 2 of the turrets, but still, as you say, like, this is getting incredibly close now. Just a small few mistakes from Team Liquid starting to cost them.
Yeah, really good pick right there. Turning on Morgan as he's trying to rotate over to the rest of the team. KC collecting more and more gold, making me more and more nervous. Kana also level 16 here with an arm guard.
He is very scary, making a lot of money as well with that first strike, as we can see, moving to about 1.4K ahead just himself. Obviously, Morgan can have a lot of value just in general, but this Rumble needs money to be effective, and Kana definitely has it at this point in time. Kalist parking himself in this mid lane once again, and it's still just frustrating for TL to get any sort of damage onto that outer turret. Back out onto the map, though, is Morgan.
50 seconds until Dragon, though. You can see they're trying to put Yehu in that top side, so then he can hit that level 16. Just barely away from it. And if you could get that before this next Dragon, that could be huge for KC, as already you're starting to see them push in mid. They want to set up for vision control around the area.
Yeah, well, that is going to be a nice little rebuttal there for Yon to avoid a bit of the damage.
RJJ and Jose were there. That was a risky arcane shift forward. Did have Yike waiting in the wings, but there is little vision for KC in the Dragon area.
Yeah, teleport in from Morgan. He does not want to risk this. Wants to make sure that he is there for the setup. 15 seconds to go as Yahoo is going to move in as well. Pretty dark as KC try to get themselves through, as that is going to be the dash cannon forward. Equalizer, fantastic from Kano with limited vision. And now the Cataclysm comes in, but that Encore only onto one. The kickback is there as Yike is going to be taken out first. CoreJJ just barely surviving. And now he can actually get himself back towards this fight after a reset. The Dragon has now spawned, but I don't think it's going to be at the forefront of anyone's mind just yet with Yike going down.
Incredibly close attempt there from KC. They went for it because they saw Quid on the bottom wave, but they just barely can't finish the kill.
But now they have no jungler, so KC kind of have to hard force this, or it's sold for Team Liquid. They're trying to buy time, but how do you engage? You use so much to try and get CoreJJ.
Yep, still 15 seconds on the Jarvan here as well. And KC, 4 versus 5, they know that they need to try and deny this as Morgan's moving in. Doesn't have the Ornhorn at the moment, but they realize they're just not going to be able to win, so they have to give up Infernal Soul to TL, and they move back into the driver's seat.
Infernal Soul, more burst damage here to Team Liquid with their combos. I mean, honestly, that was just a slight bit overreach there into the jungle.
Yeah.
They really wanted to take advantage while TL were split. But Jose had some good peel for CoreJJ as well with the kick over into the blue buff pit.
And that's Team Liquid, the Mastercard priceless moment now with that Infernal Soul picked up, which makes things so much more difficult. Yon's poke gonna be so obnoxious to deal with. And KC kind of have to go back to the drawing board, figure out how they're going to try and play this, because things also went wrong for Team Liquid in that fight, with Morgan not connecting with the ultimate. Like, there was a lot that actually went well for KC, but that's not always going to be the case, especially as you start to teeter into these later levels.
Yeah, as now Yahoo could be in a little bit of trouble. Morgan doesn't quite find the knockups. Yon going to get attacked by Yike. The equalizer goes down, and that is going to be enough to deal with this Mel. Yahoo goes golden, though, to keep him alive, but look at these health bars. This Infernal Soul is doing work as Jose is going to be able to follow Canna out of that one. He's still legendary, but he's not in the fight anymore. As now Quid dashing after Yike will be able to help Morgan grab that kill, and Busio and Kalis find themselves the last men standing.
There's no focus. That was a scramble. Everybody for themselves.
Never mind. Yahoo gets himself out somehow.
Everybody was fighting their own brawls on different sides of this one.
It was absolute bedlam. I thought Kalis was going to go down, but Jose Diodo went the opposite direction. Team Liquid, though, still with the bigger health bars, are going to get this mid lane turn and again get that little bit more off the back of us.
Okay, so we knew it was 11-11 to begin things off. That was only a 1-kill advantage here for TL. Things still exceptionally close. Let's check it out again.
Yeah, because you can see as it all starts off, like, you end up getting the pick on towards Yon, which is all that KC are focused on here, as they immediately go in with Kana's ultimate as well. The ult from Morgan ends up connecting onto Yahoo and Kana, which sets up then for Quid to go in. But watch now as this goes through, because Busio hits onto Quid. CoreJJ flashes onto Kalist. Instead, Jose Diodo turns onto Kana. So Kalist manages to stay up in the middle of this fight, who then kills CoreJJ. Jose Diodo finishes off the low health Con on the bottom side, and this is where it starts to get a little bit bedlam. Like as Kobe was saying, there's so many different scraps, there's no real focus, so there's low health bars all over the place.
Everyone just ran in separate directions. Yes. It was crazy. It was like the beginning of the Hunger Games or something like that. They're all just sprinting out of the house. But in the end, it works out relatively well for TL. And honestly, this is still anyone's game. Even with an Infernal Soul, we've seen a Soul lose. I believe it was TL so far in MSI. So KC, still some options, especially with a composition like this.
So much of KC's upfront damage, though, is like, hey, we pick one target, burst them down with this hot pot combo. You now have the Seeker's Arm Guard on Yon. You have GA on Jose Diodo. And I don't think you're getting through Morgan quite as easily as you'd expect. So really the targets for this combo are starting to disappear. So I think this is where it starts to get a little difficult now for KC with the comp.
Big thing for me, though, was that Busio did get a really good ultimate. He got the Yasuo at least. You know, I thought it was going to be very hard for him to be able to get a good ultimate off with Wind Walls, with Mel Reflect going around. But they've still been able to find very good effectiveness there.
Yep, good angles. It's now TL looking for an option towards the Baron, or at least wanting to get some vision. as there is a Ornn slingshotting himself towards the top side of the map. He's going to usher that minion wave over as well. Now KC looking for a fight. There's another Cataclysm on to Yon, taking a lot of damage here. Does manage to go golden as Canna does exactly the same thing. Kalist gets turned on by Jose. There is the knock-up, and Quid is able to take him down. Yon's still alive somehow as Yike is going to get taken down to the GA, and he should be removed as well as Morgan. Gigantic health bar thanks to that new belt that he just purchased, and it's a double for Jose. My God, this guy's Lee Sin was already famous. It's going to be more famous after this one.
And he deserves it. Okay, they're going to be able to pick up the Baron while we do this replay. But Dagda, it's crazy again. Look, Anivia on your mini-map is walking from base right now, and KC decides to full send. But Morgan is also running to this fight too, trying to get there immediately. And there you see the ultimate through two.
Yeah, and then it's just the follow-up from Team Liquid, right? The wall doesn't quite get the separation, so Morgan's able to follow across. The GA is just jumped on by Team Liquid. And I think this fight, just everything in the kitchen sink used towards Yon, but we just highlighted like the Seeker's arm guard, able to buy so much time. And if you can't finish off that play, Kalist has to overextend to try and help out Yike. And it's just not it.
Yeah, I just loved watching Dagda while you were taking us through the replay. Dagda's just pointing at the minimap, just sort of losing his mind off to the side.
But
as, who wasn't there?
But the thing is, like, this isn't the KC we saw domestically. Like, they wouldn't like panic engage or overextend. They play slow and play for like clean fights. This hasn't been what we've seen this series at all.
Well, they're going in.
Quid getting a lot of value out of that wind wall here as they look to dive on top of the Yasuo. Gets 3 with the ult. He kills 1 with it. Holds up the other 2 as Yike is traded for the Lee Sin. Gets out of the way of the Encore, but great stopwatch there from Yehu. He's still dead. He's still exceptionally dead. Turned into a fried egg in the mid lane, and Canna just has to turn tail and run. 30 seconds on the Elder, and most of KC are dead.
At the end of the day, it's Jose Daejeon Lee Sin, man. 12-0 Lee Sin.
He's 18 out of 20 kill participation, and over 50% of the kills are his, and he's playing Lee Sin. It's 35 minutes into the game, and TL think that that is a good time to finish this one off. The inhibitor going to go down first. Jose is going to land onto Kalist and take most of his health bar. Oh man, this looks like a solo queue game. Like, I'm used to Lee Sin's doing this much damage, not in pro play.
I love that we keep getting the player cam for Jose because he's just laughing and smiling. Like, he is
best day ever.
Out of all 10 players, he is the one having the most fun for sure. But it's not close.
I mean, I saw Spooks and Spawn. They were also having a pretty good time.
Get jumped on.
True. Okay, so Elder, the great equalizer, guys. Is this
going to be
bush?
We'll see whether it is going to be a good equalizer. I don't think it is because Canna is already dead. TL looking for the turn. Yon is like, well, I'm just going to kill this dragon. If you guys are going to take down the enemy top laner, you've got this one 4v4 as Yon is going to, Core JJ dives forward. They take down Yehu. The Ram is more of a celebration here from Lord Morgan as KC will just be escorted back to their base. And now TL, they have a big old buff to work with as they look to just march their way into this mid lane.
Jose Daejeon is 2 kills away from the most kills ever in an MSI game, so he can get Kalist and Busio.
There's I see 3 kills right there.
4 junglers, I'm pretty sure, because I think that number might be higher if we include 80 carries in the equation. But now we've got these Nexus turrets under fire. Quid looking for an angle towards Yike as he is so close to execution threshold. Core JJ wanting to try and take them down as Jose is in that base just trying to get a few extra kills. And Yanni's got the rebuttal to make sure they can do nothing about this as TL moving to match point over KC here at the MSI play-ins.
Jose Daejeon Lee Sin. Honestly, he also saved me. I think they would have taken me to prison if they lost that part. After I had said that. So thank you, Jose. But wow, these fights are also just so chaotic, such a scramble.
Look at these TL players, by the way. Like, the vibes could not be better as they walk off stage. This is going to be a tough one for KC to turn around from. And now we can talk to the gentleman over there on the desk about how this one's going. Dracus, you okay?
No, enough of that. Join me. Jose, 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 Jose.
Bro. It's not the first time Europe has been bodied this hard by an Argentinian, but it is the first time in League of Legends that this has happened. This was the most 1v9 performance in an EU versus NA matchup I have ever seen.
It's crazy. I mean, he was almost 5,000 ahead individually while his team is up like 2.5K, right? Like, this was an absolutely outstanding performance, and he needed every bit of that for his team to win. But I have got to say, KC, where is your preparation in draft? When we were seeing this let through in draft, I was saying to Dracos the whole time, well, this is Jose's by far his best champion. It's completely permabanned. He has a 100% win rate on it in NA. No one lets it through because it's free win for TL. Surely they have some sort of counter pick, some sort of answer, some sort of strategy. And then they're just like, no, I guess we just don't care.
And you know, we saw them take a similar risk against T1 when they left Carrier's Bard, which domestically has been very consistently banned away, 100% win rate. They do the same here, but I feel like the strategy to deal with it wasn't there. They didn't have that ability to shut him down. They didn't have picks like the Rek'Sai, which they banned, the Poppy was banned, and he just ran rampant in this game.
And guys, I'm so happy that Jose Deodo got to do this, even if I'm really sad. But I'm also incredibly pissed off with KC, because it's not hidden information. If you look at the numbers, if they've ever watched a single one of your broadcasts, if they've ever listened to a single one of your podcasts, spoken to anyone who's met Jose personally, or just, you know, watched a game of League of Legends, you would know that this is a big problem if it goes through. And the worst part, the icing on this very shit cake, is that they started a 2v2 skirmish in mid-jungle that started the snowball. That was them who started. That was KC. That was Yike who EQ'd in to Elysian, who's so much better.
With Yasuo closer playing Exhaust.
Exactly. And there is a world. If Yasuo had recalled, if you're up a man advantage where Jose Deodo might have looked foolish, that is not this world. That is not this timeline. That was awful.
Honestly, I think even if they just watched the World Cup, they would have expected this level of kicks from an Argentinian and banned it away. But, you know, bit of disrespect.
Has anyone ever seen Messi and Jose in the same room at the same time?
I haven't.
It's
So
true.
there we
Me
go.
personally, I have not.
Look, I'm going to be honest. It's hard to be optimistic right now about KC, but I think we do need to talk about it because right now it really feels like TL are running away with this series, no doubt 2-0 up, but this game was even less close than the first game, even more dominant, and I'm wondering if KC are just going to fall apart because, frankly, this has been far too sloppy, far too inconsistent, I think, for any fan, pundit, or analyst to feel really confident predicting KC in Game 3.
I mean, it is kind of crazy when you even look at the damage at the end. Yeah, he wasn't really able to do much in the fights. I did think that Kana had a much better game than on the Vayne.
Agreed.
I think that Kaliss played a pretty darn good Ezreal game, but you can't allow someone on the other team to get this far ahead and expect them to be able to make up for it.
And, you know, I feel like Jon had a better performance here on the Mel. He was the person I was most concerned about because the tournament so far has been a bit rough and you're into Jarvan Rumble as an immobile pick, but a lot of times when he was the focus, able to get that damage out, able to buy time for the team and allow them to turn it around, it feels like the preparation, we saw it against T1 from TL, has been better, and they're demonstrating that again here.
So Dracos, they're down 2-0. What do?
This is the hard part, right? Because I wish I could tell you there's one player who's been a shining light throughout the entire series, but it's just not the case. I think every single member of KC has blundered, has fumbled. So I will say that I believe that the players on this team are good enough. I believe all 5 of them have shown the potential to carry. None of them have done it yet. So I won't pick a single lane, but I will say that one player on KC has to rise to the challenge because thus far, none of them have.
I agree. I mean, it's step up right now or go home 0-3 to TL. Game 3 coming at you right after the break.
I'm gonna fight. I have ulti. 인터넷도 박아주면 좋아요. I have ulti. I have ulti Ben. I'm ulti Ben.
Fighting top. I'm coming. Set up in top 2. Let's fight.
Oh, rumble TP. Slow. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Clear a bit slow.
Jarvan ulti. Anivia maybe? Anivia?
Watch. I'm coming as well. Azure not here.
Jarvan no flash.
I'm first. Coming. Rumble flash as well. 나왔어. We win this. Nice job. Wait. Huh? We won.
TL moving to match point over KC here at the MSI play-ins.
The
human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
Times like this are where star players shine and new legends step up, where legacies are built and dreams are either realized or ripped apart.
He still doesn't die! You cannot step the Vega and expect to live to talk about tomorrow! He blocked it well with the Arcane Storm, doing so much work in Genji! They are just going to ace them!
Tired of the off-season blues once Worlds is over? Fear not, because League of Legends is coming to the very first Esports Nations Cup, where players split from their clubs and compete for national pride. Will China test every limit imaginable? Will South Korea turn every game into a macro masterclass? Will EU and NA actually play in the correct lanes? The final event of the year is not to be missed. Esports Nations Cup 2026. See you in Riyadh.
So slow.
I told you I was done with basic browsers.
Your setup wants Opera GX, and you're holding it back. Upgrade to the gaming browser. Download Opera GX.
Red Bull gives you wings.
With my new phone company, Menace Mobile, our pricing structure will be so confusing, it can only be described as evil.
That isn't evil. It's just typical phone company stuff. Besides, people just switch to Verizon.
With their new Simplicity plan, there's just one plan and one price.
What now?
And it's only $30 for a single line.
$30! So you're all choosing Verizon. Traitors!
Introducing the Simplicity plan, $30 for a single line.
Can you hear me now?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. MSI 2026. We are hot dropping straight into Champion Select here as we get into game number 3. As KC try to find it, try to figure it out to bring themselves back into this series and possibly get themselves a reverse sweep. But their backs could not be closer to the wall.
Well, luckily for them, Lee Sin, Jose cannot play it again. And they're still banning the Akali. That is a good ban against Quid.
All right, there we go. Some homework has been done.
Some, not all of it.
The Bard also going to be taken away here. And first pick now available for TL. See what Morgan is going to be taking away. I always just think it should be Renekton. But that's because all I care about is Morgan and playing his favorite champion.
They did ban the Jace.
Chances. Instead, Nautilus going to be locked in for Core JJ.
Yeah, this is because you're kind of hitting on towards like the comforts that are being taken away for Team Liquid, but a lot of those comforts are gone for KC as well, right? Like the top lane, the Rumble being taken away, the Vayne was even a big pick for Kana domestically. The Busio's champion pool has been whittled down as well, so I am curious what the plan is going to be here, as Jhin was not the high priority that I was expecting.
I was thinking about Jhin, but not positively. The
I was
Varus
gonna
be the choice
say,
instead.
I haven't been a fan of Varus after the nerfs.
Yeah,
but
same.
The team still are. So they're going to take it away. And Jan himself has been a fan of it too.
He had a good game on it, right? They played the only lethality Varus that we've had so far this season, this tournament, and did pick up a victory. As Yike is not allowed to play the bird.
Yeah, I maybe it's just the Xin Zhao here, and you just try and look for a push on bot lane into play towards the Xin Zhao.
Oh,
okay.
What about an immediate Silas pickup?
I mean, honestly, the Silas buffs I thought were really crazy. I've been waiting for Silas to come out either in mid or in jungle.
I mean, Silas into Alistar is just so good.
Yeah. The Alistar, though, was one of Busio's pick from the first split that he was exceptionally good on and was able to make a lot of plays on the roams. So trying to find an answer into the Nautilus, I think, makes sense as well, because you hook him with the Nautilus, you get the Pulverize to interrupt. And there is your pick.
There it
Mr.
is.
Atlas.
Morgan gets his Crocodile, and I am a very happy man. Senna is going to be hovered here for Quid for the moment. They will lock that one down. So Senna, not as powerful as she was the patch prior, but is still able to get work done in the later stages with a whole bunch of extra range.
Yeah, and honestly, should still be able to stack souls off Alistar pretty nicely with the double melee support matchup for bottom lane. So even though the kill drop % chance for the souls was nerfed, still could farm them pretty nicely off the melee champs.
And Sion was tapped on this patch but didn't really do anything. Still, we have seen Renekton's have a better time in this matchup so far this tournament. Kana still going to go towards that one, try and nullify the Crocodile out of Morgan. I think Doran was the one that tried to do this against Morgan and really failed to do so, even though they did win the game.
Yeah, Morgan did solo kill him. Looking good. Morgan has really, really been on fire this tournament and at the end of our playoffs as well. So definitely worth the confidence there. Now let's look towards mid and jungle, though, because we're starting to get down to it. I always think that Trundle is just so OP versus a Sion team. Not only because the ult, but also the pillar is so good. Okay, there you go. Yes. Protection ban the Trundle.
That is a very good ban. I think if they had have locked in Trundle Silas, I would have been like, well, we can go home. Pack it up. But they are going to be able to ban away that Trundle.
And then, since Trundle is banned, you mentioned Xin. Xin is now higher priority since Trundle is banned away there too, so maybe we raise the priority here for jungle.
We also have seen things like Skarner in the LEC and that have been working very well, especially if you just do want this tank front line for KC. And then you've always got the option to try and leave that counter pick for Yehu as this goes on. Maybe
they have so many takes already with the Siren and the Alistar.
Yeah.
How much beef is too much beef?
I mean, you got a cow, so there's a lot of beef.
Yeah, they can probably play whatever they like. And the other thing that is like the counter matchup that we've seen into Xin Zhao of old is the Kazakhs that we've seen already hovered and considered. That's not a tank. That does the damage. The Silas going to be banned away as well. It's KC. They're not allowed to listen to the broadcast, so that is just their choice. And not going to deny me what I wanted. Okay, one last ban hit to come through here from TL. Let's see whether they focus on Yehu again or whether it is going to be something else.
There's going to be a lot of bans gone towards the mid lane, or a lot of champions gone from the mid lane. So I'm curious what the plan is. I mean, Hui did get buffed, and I've kind of been a little surprised that we haven't seen a bit more of him. I mean, that'll definitely be something for like Cream for top esports later on, but I thought teams might try and look towards it. Just going to be the TLAW instead.
All right. Going to be making Morgan's life a little bit more difficult. Can certainly get some work done into the Nautilus there as well.
So they need point-and-click CC to go with their TLAW to set it up for jungle. But Pantheon was already played. So Vi anybody? We're banned already, so I don't know. Gets kind of difficult there.
It's looking a little murky
for the KC side, but I like it for the TL side here to go for a Shyvana angle when you do already have a bottom lane. This is a very similar carry jungle. When you have Senna Nautilus, having carry jungle is really powerful. Nautilus is going to give you the CC setup, and Senna's obviously going to allow the Olaf to stay in the middle of the fight. And
true damage for the Alistar as well actually can help.
Yeah, and you can immune all the CC of all, TLAW and Alistar and Sion, so.
And I was wondering if we might actually get the Rek'Sai on the other side of the Ike that's been let through, but could Quig get his hands on a very much a comfort pick for him, but just maybe the Ahri instead, yeah. Just going to
been a
away.
very physical composition if they had locked in the Yone. But, I mean, Yone does do mixed damage, so I guess there's that. The Ahri going to be the choice instead.
I mean, Jose just dropped, what was that, like a 13 bomb, 14 kills or something on him. So, like, you know what? You're going to be the Olaf. You're going to be the main carry here, buddy. Olaf.
Should have played Lulu mid or something weird like that, you know, like just try and augment Janna mid. Let's go. As that is going to be the Qiyana locked in for Yike. Damage coming out of the jungle, it's what we were kind of looking for in this one, just in general. And Qiyana TLAW has been a pretty powerful combo as well.
My only worry for the Qiyana is, like, Team Liquid should have push in that top side, and if they can start to get Olaf into the enemy jungle, I think that's where Qiyana will really start to struggle in that 1v1 against the Olaf. So I think if Team Liquid can try and play around Jose Deodo as they had in the past, that becomes a very big win condition for them. Whereas for KC, I think it is trying to play for, as you say, like that big wombo combo through that mid jungle, and hoping that Yike can have some of those combos we saw against T1, but actually get the win this time rather than have fallen a bit flat.
I do love the around the world Qiyana ults when you have a TLAW wall connecting the other sides of Summoner's Rift, and you just get the longest Qiyana ult of all time.
That could be an option. I'm very worried for the Qiyana in the 1v1 matchup, though, because I feel like after 15 minutes, you will just get run down by the Olaf.
At least Qiyana can utilize grass really well.
Yeah, that's true. You can go invisible.
Tricky. You definitely don't want to fist fight the Olaf, but you have to use trickery to your advantage. Trickery with grass and then go for burst damage.
Still, I do feel like these compositions a lot more evenly matched and not as weird as far as the matchups are concerned in the last couple of games. And with how KC like to play, which is a lot of slow and steady, or at least that's what I heard, slow and steady gameplay, that might be able to help them out here. And we'll see whether they can get us to a fourth game for the first time this tournament.
When we have seen Busio, though, on this Alistar, it has been much more about getting active in the early stages, very similar to what we saw on things like the Camille. So maybe less slow and steady for KC in this one, but we'll have to see how this one pans out.
And speaking of getting active early, Olaf and Nautilus, pretty good invade combo. So they had a little soft invade up there towards the top side, but right back to Raptor start for both junglers. And they are going to power clear. Now, I will say, this little bit of information is quite nice. They got to leave this ward behind on Krugs too. So you can track this Qiyana.
All right, Ahri in the game. Vendetta is Riftbound's next set, ladies and gentlemen. It's arriving on July 31st, and it brings together new champions, iconic rivalries, and beautiful art from across Runeterra. And here is the new Ahri card as well. And she's already got one. We've already got up to the next Ahri. Very cool.
I heard Ahri is pretty popular. In all of our
Vetty is a big fan of the Ahri.
Cards.
Yeah. I would have expected to get more Lux. That was what I was thinking.
True.
And let's see whether history is going to repeat itself, as it was a bit of a fight, but I think you guys can talk about this.
Yeah, first stand. I mean, Spawn talked about it to us last night, and he was like, why did everybody think that EU's going to beat us? Like, Spawn beat them at first stand. It was 2-1, so it's not going to be exactly a repeat, especially if TL have their way this game.
Yep, Core JJ with the fire. He's like, we beat them last time, and that'll happen again.
Yeah, but in EU memory, it's we made it to finals. That means we're gooder. So that was kind of what we were hoping for. The problem is we don't really get the second chance if we lose this one. We're just out of the
I
tournament.
don't think you're going to get to finals again.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
KC,
not going to happen.
Well, we still hope G2 can do it.
No, yeah, I meant the we as in the KC
Yeah,
we. G2 certainly with an opportunity to do so, as we are going to have a look at all three of the lanes here. Currently with no big advantages just yet, but you can see Canna holding his own quite nicely into Morgan in this top lane.
Yeah, Morgan got the push. Meanwhile, bot side push here for KC with Kalist and Busio, utilizing the Varus effectively here early on. And so it should just be split Scuttle Crabs for these two junglers. Opposite side clears. Of course, as we said, they both start their Raptors, so you're going to have the early Raptor respawns for both of them. They're both trying to power farm, both trying to get to their level 6s. So it should be fairly calm, and everything going kind of according to plan here. You get a little bit of extra time, of course, after your first clear. So this is like the 90% jungle play. You almost always just leave your ward over their Raptors. And he's going to cross here, too, over towards Yike, back to his Raptors. And so we'll both have vision of each other doing our second clears
and
with our long swords.
Yeah, Quid going to lose a bit of his health bar, but that is all that really results from that last play. As Yon and KJJ just down here just trying to hold down the fort. I don't think you're expecting to win this matchup as the Santa Nautilus, just with the power of the Varus early, has gone lethal tempo, so we're not going to get the lethality Varus, and I actually really like this. I do feel like they need consistent damage moving into that late game, and let's just hope that Kalist can have good positioning so that he can actually get those autos down.
Yeah. Meanwhile, look at Olaf. We have a little deviation from Jose. He did not go into a standard re-clear here. He's taking some extra time on this crashing wave.
And Yike moving towards the top side as well. Flash out from Morgan already as he slices away. Does avoid the damage there from the Q, then does back away as we had a look at Jose Diodo in game 2. Yeah, just breaking records and making records here after that incredible Lee Sin performance. And we'll see what he can do on the Olaf.
Yeah, so he had a little bit of extra time there because of the extra time spent killing the red on the previous clear. Goes back now for Krugs. And both of them, honestly, very close to mirrored vision, too, that they left behind.
Yep.
With the control ward also being left behind here in TL's side to see their second clear.
And I actually remember one of our first jungle pentakills was actually on an Olaf. Can't quite remember who it was that picked it up. It was probably someone like Peanut or Canyon, because generally most of our records are. But I can't remember off the top of my head. But possible opportunity for Jose to do the same thing.
Yeah, especially as this game goes later. Like 3 items on towards the Olaf, plus having the Senator support is huge.
But Pulverize from Busio makes his way in. As Piercing Darkness actually working out quite nicely from Yon as they avoid the Piercing Arrow as well.
Yeah, it does feel like Busio trying to get control over this bottom side. You can see multiple pings going on towards the second Scuttle spawn. So that's where KC is starting to rotate to now.
And you can see the pings right now. They're question mark pinging the Gromp that they have the ward on. So they're like, okay, he's not doing Gromp. He must be doing Dragon right now. Their bottom lane just pushed in and moved up. And TL can't do anything about it, even though they can surmise his position. And good call from KC, because as we said, they had basically the mirrored setup on the opposite side of the map, so they knew Jose was up on top side and get their first dragon for KC.
Yep, Jose is going to be able to clear out this control ward, but his position was known as well, moving up towards the Raptor camp potentially.
He is faking going for the Raptor respawn though, and now moving down to cover his own. So Yike will move across with Busio, but Jose will be here. Now spotted that the Olaf is on it.
Good vision on both sides, to be honest. This is sort of a bit of an information battle as Yike is able to steal this one away. The wall goes down, but Quid gets him off it. Yahoo is just going to back away. So just trying to play defensively here, KC, making sure that no Biffo goes down in this early stage and things remain incredibly even.
Jose still trying to get this re-invade though. No push in mid for him.
Smite. He knows Yike just used his smite, but good draw there from Yike. Pulls him all the way back into the brush.
It's a little risky though, because he is only level 5 versus the level 6, and Yahoo had shoved in mid, and Quid had just reset. So could have potentially been a moment for KC, but decided not to pull the trigger. So now he has to walk back down towards his bottom side, giving Yike a little bit more time again to just farm up a bit of a lead for himself.
Well, another headbutt pulverize does come on through here as Chains of Corruption come down at the same time. Boostio only level 5, so he doesn't have the unbreakable will as Jan trying to do his best. CoreJJ flashing away with the hail of arrows. He's going to connect max range on the anchor to get the escape out from this Nautilus, but did still have to use the flash in the play.
Yeah, Boostio doing a good job of body blocking the hook to the terrain in front of him so that then you have to burn the flashes. CoreJJ still manages to escape, but it does give KC a little bit of an advantage now on that bottom side.
Yeah, Jose was moving down. That's why you saw Jan playing so aggressively. And KC, they smelt it. So they are going to be able to back away successfully. And no big advantages being picked up. Even this center lane actually doing fine as far as farm. I think that is going to be entirely evened out as these minions do get taken. Let's teleport back in as Kalist is going to face check. Does get snared. Piercing Darkness comes down, but the Piercing Arrow is there as well. A lot of piercing from both of these AD carries.
Boostio using that teleport off the Summoner Spellbook, though, to get back into the lane means they should be able to get a plate for themselves, although maybe not wanting to overextend too much. Still unsure as to where the Olaf is quite at the minute. But we'll open up a roam for Boostio. And I think that's where they really do want to try and unlock Boostio from this bottom lane right now, get him active on the map.
Yeah, Alistair pretty good at making an impact in other lanes. We'll be able to move into mid, but you can see that he is shadowed by CoreJJ immediately.
Yike also wants to use his ultimate as Jose starts up the grubs. This may be the area to do it.
Yeah, Morgan going to move down, and the Scion is in the bottom lane. KC, man disadvantage for this particular objective, and I think that they are just going to back away and just let Kana create some control for themselves by taking this bottom lane out. Jan is going to lose a bunch of his health bar as Kana is just basically unaware of the turret's existence.
It felt like a very late swap from KC, though, because, oh, hang on, is Yike going to get caught here?
Well, Yike is moving down. There was a lot of good vision here from TL. So CoreJJ making his way in. The flash on forward, flash out from Jan as well as Yike gets a supreme display of talent, but the ulti from Jan keeps him alive for a little longer, just not quite long enough as First Blood does go over to the Scion.
Ari roam from Quid.
Yeah, no flash available here for Kana. No ulti as well, but he gets into the minion wave. I don't know whether it's going to be enough though as the charm still goes wide. Anchor is going to be there to lock him down, and it's TL that even out the kills.
Okay, little shutdown there for Quid on the compensation play. Mid lane does get pushed in the top.
Yeah, there is the dominance here from Morgan. Flashes forward, and now the Ragnarok is going to get popped from Jose. Kalist going to get taken down first. Boostio nowhere to run as there is the true damage. And it's Morgan that locks up the kill in the end.
Yeah, they split it there. Morgan's like, all right, I'm going to take the second one.
Yep.
Holds off, and gets it. One for each of the TL Bash brothers in the top lane.
Man, that is exactly what you want to see as the Olaf, though. You can just ulti and walk forwards towards him. He flashed to get in
into
position.
lane, yeah. Knowing that there was no real follow-up that KC could have. Once the Olaf ends up getting that ultimate, you can't keep him off the carry. Kalist goes down. Morgan stays alive for so long. And TL picking up big wins in the top lane.
Yeah, really good plan from TL there. Lying in wait, ready for the counter gank. Both flashing onto Kalist. Being able to get this kill. Now, a lot of summoner spells used, okay, because Jan also had to use his earlier on the other side. So there's a couple areas for this Kiana to attack. You saw how, effective Yike's ult was in the dive. Maybe he can get something going on the second one. With this Umbral Glaive, it is so nice to roam around, keep that vision control, so you can keep another pathway for Boostio to help roaming with you.
Yeah, it did feel, though, that KC kind of fumbled the swap a lot, though, right? They end up being late towards the rotation to go for the grubs, and you end up then in this mixed match where Jose Diodo and Morgan can actually chase you down. You get the kill on the bottom side, but it's been a big win for TL. KC, though, now with the push on mid lane, going to move over towards the Dragon. You have the TP for Morgan if they really want to, and Jose Diodo's in the pit.
Wait, he just walks over. It is going to be the secure on the Drake, though, as Jose down to 50%. There's the Ragnarok to get him out of the CC. And now Quid dashes over the wall. There's the Orb of Deception and the ulti to come through, the Dawning Shadow to keep them alive. Yike down so incredibly low, but TL, they have to worry about the brick wall that is this Scion. The anchor is just going to go straight into Kana as Jose sidesteps the Q. Headbutt pulled from Boostio as he tries to take matters into his own hands. The shield, incredible onto Jose, but he is going to be taken down first. And the unbreakable will of this Alistair keeps him alive. Core also going to be kept alive at the same time as Quid, now in the back of the pit, does have to flash away. And Yike is hunting for these escaping members of TL, but they will be able to make their way out.
What the hell are the fights in these series? They're so close. Yike being chased down by Jan, but should be able to just dash himself away. but oh my god, that was close.
I mean, Jose went in there. He has no flash. He's an Olaf in the pit.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, he's going to ult away, but then he's just walking back and forth, strafing in the back of the pit. Teleport, though, the play's not done quite yet.
Yeah, it's Morgan making his way in as the ruthless Predator should be able to sink his fangs in, sets up for the charm, and that is a very dead Scion. No options for Canna. And Morgan is just going to deal with this zombie as well. So that's TL getting another kill back. But look at the gold. I mean, KC is still in a fine position here in this game and with Double Dragon.
Yeah, and you say it, Jose goes in, kind of is doing a good job of trying to buy space, but he has no damage behind him. Just kind of waiting, but Busio sees the moment for the knock-up. The ult from Kana gets some good damage. Yike snipes from the brush. And again, kind of buying space on towards Quid and Yon means that KC can kind of work their way in towards this pit again, but it got so dodgy towards the end of this, especially with that lockdown onto Kalist.
Yeah, it was a weird call from TL because Kiana is really hard to outsmite because she has really good jungle monster modifiers, and then Yike did a good job using his ultimate as well. Gets the dragon and they get the kills afterwards. So KC, they bring the gold right back to even and 2 dragons stacking.
It is exactly even as well. And we have a Chemtech Soul. Oftentimes, people don't like Chemtech Soul. I'm seeing an Olaf and a Renekton and an Ahri. Like, there are so many champions. And a Senna. I mean, I skipped, like, the most important one. You get so much value from this Chemtech Soul because everyone can kind of be kept alive with shields and heals at lower health. And so this Chemtech Soul could be incredibly valuable, especially for TL. But, I mean, the same can be said on the other side of the Rift as well. Okay, let's see who is going to be able to keep stacking these up, whether it's going to be KC or whether it's TL finally prioritizing the Drake. Because I don't think TL have necessarily not had very much control in this game. They just haven't been focused on the Dragons.
Yeah, very much so, because they're looking at how their combo is going to operate later. You know, they're trying to bank on Yon stacking souls and then getting some money into Jose so they can get to the point where this Olaf just gets to run at Varus and Talia, and those champions are not going to be able to dash away.
Nope.
And they need to get to the kind of the critical point where Jose and Morgan are going to be able to dive and put that pressure onto the back line.
I think that's why you can see KC trying to be so active at this portion of the game. Push it in mid, trying to establish vision on the spot side, trying to shift both Busio and Yike towards either side of the map, maybe try and find a play, because they know that as this game starts to go on, this Olaf and this Sen are going to get significantly more terrifying for their backline. So hoping they can catch Team Liquid and start to blow open this game a little bit more in their favor.
All right, as the dust settles, we're moving back towards the mid lane. We're going to call it a K-Ram because we are in Korea at the moment. We're in the river at this particular point in time, as now the anchor comes forward. Get double knock up there from Core JJ as they're looking for Kalist. He flashes out of the way, but it's not going to be able to escape Jose Diodo right now as the train just drives past the Viking. Yike getting the supreme display of talent, but it's now Busio dead in this split fight. It works out so beautifully for TL. KC kind of just fell apart.
I thought it was going to take a while for the Olaf to get back to the Varus, but the Varus is right there in front of Core JJ. Core JJ nails him with the hook, and they full combo Kalist. It's a beautiful setup. Jose is like, great, I'll just be able to take the kill early. Take a look at this. So into the brush here, Core JJ is going to walk over with Yon, and then boom, right there, right in Kalist. And guess what? Olaf right behind him. So that's going to be a very dead Varus very early on. From that point, Tagda, you're basically trying to scramble and get people out, evacuate, but Quid also hitting the charm there onto Yahoo as they're able to finish off Busio. And
I mean, I'm still trying to figure out why Kalist was walking towards the bush. They knew that the Nautilus was in.
That is one. There's also Cannon deciding to drive the train past the very scary Olaf that did just lose Ragnarok, which could have potentially helped him and Yike make something happen. But was a bit of a mistake there from KC, and it does put TL in a fantastic position. The first big gold advantage here in this game is TL looking for that date against T1 coming up tomorrow to try and get themselves a spot in the main stage of MSI. Remember, this is just the lower bracket. There is still one more test to get yourselves towards that main stage coming up after this.
Core JJ doing such a good job here, constantly sweeping, constantly throwing down control wards, and guess what? Now you're going to have to enter into the Dragon area here versus TL, who are ready to dive again.
And I think Core JJ has been such a standout performer for me for Team Liquid at MSI. He has really stepped up. The Nautilus in particular has been fantastic, and he may find Kalist once more here.
Yeah, Anchor going to connect onto Canna. This is going to be their first target in this fight. There's not a lot of follow-up. In the meantime, though, there is an Ahri lying on the floor. So Quid not able to do too much, and they're able to protect Canna with a great Weaver's Wall. This might actually be able to get KC this sole point that they've been looking for. TL, they do not want to give this one up, but I mean, it's so difficult without their mid laner who doesn't have teleport as well. Busio goes in, gets the pulverizer, steal from Jose. Never mind, it wasn't. It was actually Riftail taking down a turret, as now we've got a team fight as Morgan knocked up into the sky, but he's going to get on top of Kalist once again. Busio is dead, and TL, they are still going to win the ensuing fight as the Blast Cone pulls back Canna. And he's able to unstoppably onslaught his way out of there. That was such a weird period of play.
Okay, they know where Morgan is. He does not want that fight.
Yeah, I got so enthusiastic because I saw that there was Olaf taking something, and the smite didn't actually come on through. KC were at least able to get themselves soul point.
Yeah, Busio does a good job. Like, he's just keeping him barely out of range, but this is the real surprise. Yeah, Quid deleted by Yike there. Nicely done by Yike right out of the brush, and Quid also flashed there. So not only did they delete him, but they also got his summoner spell.
Had he just teleported to that part of the map as well, on top of everything? So that's even more that he misses out on the next little while. Still, 2.6k going to be the advantage for TL. And breaking open the middle of the map going to be very important for this squad at the same time. So I think still in a good position, but giving over the soul is going to be a rough one, especially when KC do kind of want to speed things up. Getting to an early Elder could be dangerous here for TL before their centers online.
I think they still do have an exceptionally strong combo with Yike, though. You can see how quickly he could delete Quid.
Yeah.
If he ends up finding that big play in the middle of a team fight, that could be it. Like, the goal is 2.7k at this stage. Is nice, but not insurmountable for KC. But especially as Team Liquid now get to set up on side lanes, I think this is where they start to become more threatening. Like, Ahri very good in this position. Morgan on the Renekton with the lead, very strong. And Jose Diodo more than happy to dive these turrets if it works for him.
Well, it might work for him right now, as they are moving towards Canna. The referee got something to say to this player. As kind of really wants to get rid of this turret, as Ahri just going to dash in front to make sure that he's not able to ult away, and he moves away from the turret. Not exactly opportune. It's going to take a while to kill him, but kill him they will. And TL now looking for an opportunity to take down this turret at the same time. They will be able to get it. 3 Grub's going to be helping out there. It's a Zombie Scion, no help from the rest of his teammates. TL actually moving for a little bit more aggression in this mid lane.
Good block there from Busio. Kalista had the slow on him, so Jan was trying to thread the needle there and get the snare, but Busio just walks up and takes it, so nobody's going to die for KC there, and they'll still get their cross map of the tower, but nice play from TL. They just brute force. They're like, yes, we will be able to kill you. Jose doesn't even respect the zombie getting back up. He's like, it's fine. You do whatever you want. I'm going to kill this tower too.
Yeah, also Morgan shifting from top lane, knowing, look, that tower is going to go down. I can't do anything about it. Covers the mid lane, so this Varus can't even get more of that plate gold. And now you're in a position where you get to re-establish yourselves on this top side with Baron up and available.
Yeah, it does seem hard for KC to combo like more than one person. Like, I'll definitely give you, Yike could definitely like one-shot Quid or one-shot Jan, but if Olaf now on 2 items is able to run down your... Wait a second, they're going to make a big play on top side. That's everybody for TL.
Yeah, the whole gang. They got their whole gang together. Looking for an angle towards Yehu, but he is going to be able to pick up this wave. Looks like they're not looking for anything here. As Jose wanting to spot Yike, does manage to find him there with the Scryer's Bloom. Now sprinting over. TL, I mean, they just want to kill someone.
Yeah. If he could even get someone's summoner spell right now, it'd be a really big win, because a minute on the dragon.
Yeah, Yike is going to get pushed away, though. Understands there are a lot of TL members moving on over. They have dropped vision towards that top side, so the counter Baron is not looking like an option here. And early control of this dragon area when you're staring down the barrel of Soul Point, smart idea.
Yeah, the map just feels so shortened for KC because you're constantly getting control over mid. Kalist can't really step up to contest that mid push, and then you're just shifting with Core JJ, Jose Diodo, and Jan back and forth, getting all the vision you want, denying KC any access to river. And if anyone at all steps up, they just immediately die. Like, Kana is the only real tanky one on this team.
Yeah. And I think that TL should make the call to, prioritize diving Yehu instead of Kalist. Kalist right now isn't even going to do much damage if he's, you know, if he's attacking people. But I think taking out the TLAW first then would be the obviously like ideal priority. But you know, if Kalista is there too, also still a good target to run down. And okay, now he's got Rage Blade, so now it's definitely a little bit more threatening.
Yep, 2 items pretty scary here. We do have a couple for Yon also put together though, as the Manamune has been completed now as well. And he's going to start doing a fair bit of damage himself. 62 on the Souls meter as well. It's not too shabby. As Jose standing on a ward. This could be a problem. As the teleport in from Morgan will be able to augment this play.
Dragon here.
Yeah, just spawned. As Morgan spotted on Vision. There's Supreme Display of Talent only on to Core JJ, but they are looking to burst him down. They find it as Yon also gets a snare into that backline, but there is the interruption on Morgan. Dawning Shadow. Yon doing so much work as they take 2 down already. No bottom lane left as Quid's dashing towards Yehu, who is just running for the hills. Morgan cares not for your turrets, KC. Although maybe he should, as he's taking a lot of damage. Does flash away, and Canna looking to flash after him. Does not find the angle as Yehu not going to be able to defend as they look to move back and take the dragon.
Okay, so KC, they do one-shot somebody, but it's only the Nautilus. And so Team Liquid then win in the scramble, and they're going to deny the Dragon Soul.
Yeah, Jan played that fight so well. The immediate flash away from the Supreme Display of Talent so he doesn't get caught, and then gets the route on towards Kalista as well. As, yeah, who wants to fight against Quid with the sidesteps, though?
Yeah, Busio does make his way forward. Canna's here as well. Quid, ladies and gentlemen, is dead. The threaded volley is going to be able to take him, and that is the shutdown. So nicely done there. First kill going over to Yehu, and I think getting money on your TLAW going to feel fantastic. Looking for that 3rd item and wanting to be able to augment the damage here for KC.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good follow-up play because, you know, that's how they killed Kalista, was Quid ult and flashing forward to follow up and get the charm on him off that route that you're talking about that Jan was able to land on him. So they knew no mobility left for that Ahri. Let's punish him up on the side lane, grab that shutdown money while we can.
All right, as the dust settles, we have the Soul denied, so 4 minutes on another opportunity for KC. But 1 Chemtech Dragon is not really going to mean too much for TL, and they have a long road ahead of them if they do want to even out the Drakes in this game. So KC still with a lot of tempo control, I think, in this game. But whether they can utilize it correctly is going to be the big question as we move forward. As we check out the Coinbase Gold Grind, Jan doing a whole lot better than Kalista in this game, and better than I was expecting because he's playing center. And oftentimes you feel like you fall behind.
Yeah, and it does feel like there's kind of like a choice here from KC. They're not giving as much of that gold in towards Kalista. And you can see here, sorry, this was the fight. Jan flashing away, then gets the root through onto Kalista, which then sets up perfectly for Quid to flash forward. He gets the pick. And really, so much of this fight being off the back of Jan playing this exception and then setting up for Jose Diodo to kind of knock them down where they'd already been set up.
Exactly, running them down, getting the extra kills here. Of course, on the top side, you have the escape. Now we're back to it.
Yep, more fighting as Yike going to get taken down a little bit lower, but that's going to be Core JJ in a bit of trouble. Depth Charge comes in, Dawning Shadow to try and keep his Nautilus alive as Quid gets into the backline. Supreme Display of Talent does so much work, and they manage to take down the Olaf, but still, Jan is fighting. Quid still alive. Busio taken out as Morgan brings his Renekton into the backline. The Mega Blast Cone going to try and get Canna out to relative safety, but the charm connects, and TL, even without their Viking, are able to win the fight.
They're able to get the extra ones, and they can push the towers after this too. They've got mid wave and top wave all pushing in their favor. They only drop the Olaf this time with the burst damage at the very end there. Yike was able to get it off.
Was that a 5v5 over a blue buff?
Yeah, it looks
Hell
like
yeah.
Yeah. And it looked kind of, as you say, decent here for KC to begin with, because Yike doing a good job of separating. Busio has actually been able to keep people off of Kalista on this side as well, alongside Kana. And it's the Supreme Display of Talent that then sets things up.
Yeah, so Yike is able to burst down Olaf. Morgan is able to get back and then force Kalista flash away. And so the top side going well for them, and they have plenty of time then to finish up the zombie down there. I mean, Morgan is just kind of wrecking havoc here through these fights. This Renekton able to slip through with the slice and dice and get the extra pressure from the other side of the fight. Meanwhile, Giannis is free hitting here. The Senna stacks are at 80, okay? You know, he had a lane versus, you know, double melee supports, stacking up souls there, and then continually stacking through all of these fights. And when the games are this action-packed and have so many fights.
This is crazy, by the way. LCS really making their way back in as far as the scoreline versus the LEC, as these stats actually include the 2 victories from TL earlier today.
And also, like, if you look back at the last 2 years, unfortunately, it hasn't been great for LEC. It's been LCS who've been able to get the best of us, with Team Liquid picking up a 3-1, and then it was FlyQuest as well that managed to get the 3-0, I believe, over G2 too. So I was kind of hoping that this would be KC, who, like, have looked stronger than they did in the past, kind of stepping up on the international stage. Like, we saw them at first time, but really getting a run at it at MSI just hasn't been the case, and this doesn't even feel like the KC we've seen domestically.
Yeah, they haven't really been able to rely on that strength of just still being able to win the team fights later. TL have still been able to get the better of them. All right, now setting up once again. I mean, I feel like it does get worse because we're still thinking about the Olaf and Senna combination.
Yeah.
Because the Olaf, when you're buffed up by Senna, like the healing and shielding, like Jose just becomes such a crazy threat.
And if you add several Chemtech Dragons into that, kind of good.
Not to mention a Renekton. It's
going to be so hard to kill him.
Yeah.
Because if the Renekton and the Olaf are sort of like going for the same target, Senna is just giving both of them the same stuff. Just feels a little bit unfair. Dawning Shadow can be so powerful as well to keep them alive. But 20 seconds until Drake number 2 is available for TL, and still Soul available for KC. They can make it happen. Yike was pretty good on the Smite trigger finger earlier on today. This could be an opportunity for them to get a bit of power in this game.
All right, TL once again with vision control, nicely set up by them. It's going to make KC have to approach this dragon from some dangerous angles. They do have some blast cones to work with. You get a little creative, but it's so scary. And you can see TL fanning out into this 3-point. They're keeping vision all points of entry over towards the dragon, and KC don't even want to take a part of it.
Yep, not going to be a thing. So that is going to be second Chemtech Dragon over to TL. I do like that KC realized they don't really have to fight for this if they can't get a good position, and so deciding to forego it for now and get some control towards the Baron pit.
Yeah, they weren't really in a position to trade though for anything, right? Because you already had that top wave pushed out. Mid was fully pushed in by Team Liquid as well. So you kind of just saw Yahoo move top, get a wave, and then that's been kind of the extent of it. So Team Liquid are doing a decent job as well before the setup for the objective of making sure there's not enough for KC to take anywhere else.
Yeah, and those experience disadvantages are becoming a problem for KC. I mean, Morgan has a straight 2-level lead over Kana. So, like, the side lanes are really, really hard for them to deal with, because a fed Renekton and an Ahri in the side lanes, very, very dangerous. So that's why KC keep having to catch a little, and then they like lose a little bit here, a little bit there when they're going to some of these setups. You know, and even Yana is a full level ahead of Kalist. So we're going to start up the Baron.
Yeah, Yike is actually going to go back. They don't have any vision towards his Baron pit. Boostio, he cannot check it. They do manage to get the Scryer's Bloom, but the Baron already down to 50%. Yike realizing that he has to stick around, try and go for a bit of a trade here as the wall comes down. CoreJJ possibly caught out, flung back towards the team as he flashes away. Death Charge comes through. Yike is dead versus Canna. Stunned up. CoreJJ still alive as they're dashing into the backline. Kalist is going to keep himself alive, but now good sidestep as he takes down Quid and keeps himself alive. Jose, next one to fall. Canna should be wiped off the rift by Morgan, but TL, an even trade is not what they were looking for around that Baron.
Yeah, I think they were separated again. There certainly isn't the amount of focus that I was expecting in these fights when we're diving 2 different areas, and then you scroll back over and they're still on the Scion.
Because I thought that charm from Quid was about to just be the end for KC. You see here, they jump on towards CoreJJ, but just watch the charm here from Quid. He manages to sneak past Busio onto Yike. He doesn't get the ult off, and then you get this chase into the backline. But because the Olaf hasn't been hitting people, Jose Diodo ends up with the ult falling off. He gets double hit by Yahoo. You get the combo from Busio onto Quid. Kalist stays alive, and Kana's buying a ton of time in that backline where you have to draw Morgan away. So in the grand scheme of things, ends up being a 2-for-2.
Yeah, excellent peeling there from Yahoo and Busio, keeping Kalist alive. Man, that Talia over the wall.
And Kalist being able to sidestep as well, avoiding the Orb of Deception. I mean, Quid just needed to hit anything, and he would have died. You saw Kalist go down exceptionally low. But man, really, really close stuff. TL did have control of the game, though, and so them going for an even trade going to be working out for KC.
But you can see the damage that was done in that last team fight. Yahoo outpacing everyone on KC, and this has kind of been the call from KC. It's get Yahoo into a side lane, try and feed him a bunch of gold. That's why he's the one member with an actual advantage when it comes towards the levels, working up towards that Rabadon's death cap. KC would love to have that before this Chemtech Dragon fight, which I expect is coming in just under 2 minutes.
All right, JJ clearing out vision. Jose wasting no time, is already hitting the Baron. And there is another Scryer's Bloom that is going to spot that one out. So KC utilizing the map in order to get vision, as there is another anchor forward. Not exactly the optimal target, as Busio is the one that's focused, but Unbreakable Will now being on cooldown. That's a Renekton showing up. It does have the big old shield from that teleport from the top lane.
Honestly, that's pretty good for KC. They got the extra teleport out because they're the ones that used Scion teleport last time. So they did get the cooldown. Busio's recalling, though. Alistar with no ultimate is pretty hard to team fight.
Yeah, and they still have zero vision of this area.
don't know.
Yike not actually
Yeah, they got
moving
hit.
over. They do spot it with the scrying orb. But can KC actually go for this?
Hello.
There is a point-blank charm. Yike is wiped out by the Dawning Shadow. No smite, no chance of contesting the Baron here, as well as TL. Beautifully played.
TL set up wonderfully on that, managing to pick off Yike as he goes for the setup. As you say, there was no vision, no control at all around the pit, and TL knew it.
Now with the Baron, but 4-1 split push, Ari on top side, and as Morgan walks in,
Yeah, he's just face-checking here. Doesn't have the dominance available. Kolomik is going to be there as the rest of TL. Moving on forward. There's the unstoppable onslaught to get Kana out of there. That is now a big tool that he will not be able to use. The inner turret is going to be taken down towards the top side, and TL, this Rebel Baron power play already at 2,200. And Quid should be able to get away from this. I say that.
Doesn't have the ult yet.
Yeah,
he has flash.
Yeah, Foxfire as well. Try and keep him be okay. The flash now has to be used, though, as, just barely able to slink past.
It is who's ultimate down, though, with the Chemtech Dragon just about to spawn. So you can see Yike trying to make his way out, but with the investment KC put into that top side, I just don't think they can really contest this once again.
Well, that is going to be 3 Chemtech Dragons here for TL, so that's their soul point to come on in. The maximum Elemental Dragons is going to be available here in this game. TL not going to be contested for this one. KC's base remains intact for now, but we are moving to some pretty dangerous gold levels.
We certainly are. And Morgan now has a 3-level full lead over Kana.
Oh, God. He's 507. This
your
is
favorite player, your favorite
Renekton
player
from
on his
Morgan.
favorite champion.
Oh, and he's having such a good game on it as well. Oh.
Busio?
Well, Morgan is just wondering who he's going to hit.
Where's Busio?
He is wandering towards Quid. Yike is going to be there as well. Busio is going to be in the Death Chamber as the Orb of Deception comes on through. Doesn't care about the damage reduction from the ulti. So yes, to answer your question, gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's an anchor towards Canna as well, who is just going to get caught out of position, flashes out of the way, gets turned into a zombie as Morgan just wanders his way towards this inhibitor turret. And KC just kind of falling apart here as their base is doing exactly the same thing. Inhibitor going to go down towards the bottom side, and with the remnants of this Baron, TL, they should be able to get Nexus turrets for this as well.
Yike was still trying to flank. He was trying to flank this whole time as everyone was dying and the base is gone.
Well, the Nexus turrets are going to start falling down as look at that army of siege minions that are set up to take this last one away. Busio has respawned, though, so maybe that is going to help them out on the defense. But now it's a naked Nexus, and now it's TL so close to another date with T1 as Morgan flashes in. They get on top of Yahoo. They wipe him out. Busio back to the Death Chamber again. And Callisti's on the fountain, but his Nexus is going to explode another 3-0 as Team Liquid destroy KC.
Team Liquid, well deserved. I mean, the improvements that they've shown, outstanding. I feel like their drafting has got a lot better, and you can definitely tell they're more comfortable on the stage.
Yeah, I mean, this one didn't even feel close. Jungle support outpacing across a huge amount of this series, and Morgan getting the better of Kana. That Renekton was terrifying in these fights.
He is pretty good at Renekton, as it turns out, but a bit of an uncharacteristic performance from KC. I felt like they were in a very similar position against T1 that TL was. I was expecting this to be a whole lot closer. But TL, I mean, if you want to have any sort of performance moving towards a matchup against T1, this is the performance you want to see. Let's throw it back to the boys on the desk.
Certainly is the performance you want to see, Atlas. Maybe not the performance I personally wanted to see, but North Americans fans definitely going to feel good about that one.
Let's bask in the glory.
Yeah.
Here, Ox.
You know what? You were just so convincing at the start of the show when you were talking about the star side. I got it. That really connected with me.
It's a classic Ares performance.
Yeah, I mean, He was talking about phases of the moon.
What was that guy talking about?
The moon's not in here. We can't see the moon. We're in an enclosed space.
And I will say, banter aside, hearts out to KC. Obviously, a pretty crushing way to leave the tournament.
Yep.
Was not their day. Did not have that level of performance. So, again, condolences. Don't want to take away though from the incredible performance we did see from Team Liquid today. I think as much as the banter was going back and forth, did you expect it to be that one-sided? Because I felt like it was always going to be close.
Dracos, it was written in the stars.
Okay. All right. Fine.
No,
I'll just say I always
no.
thought it was going to be a close series. That really blew me away how much more dominant Team Liquid were.
I will say, my real opinion was that coming into the tournament, I thought KC was going to be better than TL. But based on the actual tournament performance, Jose and Morgan have both been playing above where I expected. Morgan in particular, it's a crazy glow up from the regular season, and that is actually what made me believe that they would have an edge today over KC. I thought it was going to be a lot more competitive though, but Jose went crazy. I think KC's draft prep was horrible, and I think that was a big contribution to it as well. TL hard outdrafted him in my opinion, and I do think that Kalist had a really bad series in some of these big moments. Kana had a horrible Vayne game. Like, KC just didn't show up.
I think as well, when you look at how TL prepared for the T1 series, felt like they came in there with some really smart drafts. That Poppy game, they did most of the work to win the game and then crumbled at the last moment, but that doesn't eliminate the fact they were in a winning position against T1, and you can see their game plans working really well against KC.
And in Game 3 as well, right? Like, those games were winnable, and I don't think that KC had that big player that was kind of stepping up in the way that, you know, the T1 players were from those deficits. If you get behind, you need someone to be the star, someone to kind of, you know, do that big play. I think Yike was trying his heart out in that last game, but
certainly.
We got to be honest, there was one jungler that was standing tall in this one. Jose had just been crazy across all 3 games. The Olaf pick, I think, was really, really smart. Made a lot of sense in the draft. It was very cohesive. The Lee Sin game was the biggest 1v9 of the tournament. One of the biggest 1v9s I've ever seen from a Lee Sin.
And I think the easiest Oppo player of the series we've ever had. No surprise to see Jose Deodo. The Lee Sin performance alone would have been enough, but really every single game he was making an impact.
He could have done basically nothing Game 3, and yet he didn't. He found ways to really make an impact on the Olaf, but the Lee Sin game was just clinical, and when I saw it, I was thinking back to that Peanut game at MSI, just styling on your opponent, picking up kills all over the map, and look, 22, 4, and 22 in the series.
Insane. And
absolute monster.
I mean, absolute monster performance. And the craziest thing is, if you have not watched Jose in NA, it just feels like every Lee Sin game he plays looks like that. It's just insane. Like, this guy, when he gets any lead, is so intelligent about how he actually pushes his advantage. He plays in the face of his opponents. He constantly invades. He makes you fight him, or he makes you concede everything. And it really comes back to, like, his mindset. If you talk to him, he's so fun to talk to because, you know, when you go, Jose, like, how do you prepare for these series? Like, are you really feeling the pressure? And he's just like, League of Legends is a game, and I just try to have fun, and I just go out there, and I just remember, you know, we're just playing a game, and I do my best, and it's like, he is just such good vibes, and I think it kind of allows him to just play without stress.
And honestly, if he can do that on Lee Sin to NA teams, then of course he could do it to EU teams.
Like Ox, come on, you can't tell me on that
Thanks, buddy.
And I will say,
this is the top tier analysis why we bring him in.
Seriously, though, the real thing for me is most players who have this dominant domestic pick cannot transition into an international stage. The fact that he did against an EU team that, again, after the first few series, we might have said, you know, it's a little bit more TL favored, but initially looked like they would be the favorites. And this one against a player like Yike, who does have a certain international pedigree, has gone the distance against LPL teams, etc. Like, this is some really impressive stuff from him. And now I kind of want to see if T1 let it through. I'm going to be honest. I really want to see what this looks like going up against someone like Owner. But, of course, we are now just getting ready for our post-game interview. So, final thoughts, Hawks?
I'm excited for tomorrow and to see how they do in the rematch. I think they had good ideas the first time around but couldn't get over the finish line. I think they can definitely take games. Series might be a tall task, but this was a great series, great performance for them today.
An impressive ramp up in such a short period of time too, right? It's easy for a tournament as short as this one, right, where you have the potential to just play 2 series and get eliminated, not to see that growth. But I think we are seeing it from TL.
We really are, but we are going to be joining Jose on stage for the Verizon post-game interview. Let's go! Oh, never mind. We're not ready again.
We're not ready.
Okay.
Just building the suspense.
We're eager. The problem
we
is
are eager.
We're like so ready to talk to Jose Deodo.
We are.
He was
I'm
our
always ready.
He's been our Oppo player of the series before that 3rd game. Now we're ready. Let's do it. Verizon post-game interview with Jose Deodo.
승리한 호세디오도 선수 만나보겠습니다. Congratulations.
Thank
First
you.
question. 가장 먼저 LEC와 LCS와 LEC의 자존심이 걸린 승부에서 승리한 뒤 다음 라운드에 진출하신 소감 들어보겠습니다. First off, how does it feel to win in a match where the LCS and LEC's pride on the line and make it to the next round?
Feels great. I think, I don't know, I've never been in a rivalry of EU in NA because I'm from Latam, so it's kind of weird for me, but it's very fun. I think the nerves are high, and obviously fans are like flaming each other, so it's very fun. I think, yeah, the afterwards, it feels nice because we three of them, so I'm sure the NA fans are happy now.
사실은 본인은 아무래도 라탐 출신이기 때문에 LCS와 LEC의 이런 라이벌리에 대해서 크게 잘 느끼지 못했는데 정말 많은 분들이 열광하고 또 서로 이렇게 벤터, 트래시 토크를 주고받는 그런 문화를 잘 알고 있었는데 이렇게 또 선수로서 플레이하면서 승리를 가져올 수 있게 되어서 너무 좋고요. 또 3대0 승리를 가져온 만큼 팬분들이 더 기뻐할 것 같다고 합니다. 한국에서 열린 2025 퍼스트 스탠드의 리매치이기도 했습니다. 작년에도 그리고 올해도 한 번 더 TL이 KC에게 패배를 안겨주었는데요. 오늘 경기를 앞두고 어떤 부분을 가장 중점적으로 대화 나눴는지 여쭤보겠습니다. It was also a rematch of 2025 First 10, which also happened in Korea last year, and then again today. TL handed KC a loss. What kind of conversation did you guys have as a team about the matchup?
No, funny enough, we saw the series before coming here. I think we were thinking like, damn, what happened these games? You know, how you guys beat them, what you guys thought in the series. But it's like different players, so it kind of changes the vibe. But yeah, I mean, it's nice that we got a rematch. I think it's different because Omti was here last time, so now it's me playing. So maybe that's why we didn't lose one game. So yeah.
사실은 좀 재밌는 이야기인데 오늘 경기 전에 다 같이 그 경기를 돌려봤다고 합니다. 그때 경기를 같이 보면서 와 이때 어떻게 이겼니 이런 이야기를 나누었는데 사실은 라인업도 바뀌고 선수 구성이 바뀌어서 같은 경기나 같은 그런 접근은 아니지만 지켜보면서 굉장히 즐거웠고 작년에는 엄치 선수가 정글러로 있었는데 올해는 제가 있었기 때문에 1세트를 안 진 게 아닌가라는 생각도 들었다고 합니다. 이제 2세트 얘기를 안 해볼 수가 없는데요. 또 이렇게 세트 패 없이 승리하게 된 주역도 2세트의 리신이 아닐 수가 없습니다. 정말 신 그 자체였는데 올해 호세디오드 선수의 리신은 LCS 시즌에서도 무패를 이어가고 있습니다. 오늘 본인의 리신 플레이는 10점 만점에 몇 점을 주고 싶으신지 여쭤보겠습니다. Now we have to talk about your game 2 Lee Sin, which was godlike, and your Lee is still undefeated in the LCS season as well. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you like to rate it?
I don't know, I think today I didn't play like normally, maybe an 8 from what I used to see on my gameplay, because I think if that was a normal game, I would just like finish in 20 minutes, but I think the nerves were like, ooh, I'm excited because I'm so fast and I can 1v9, and then I ran it down a bit. So, yeah, I was thinking maybe an 8, but I think overall when I have a good game, I can go to like 9 or 10 sometimes, but it depends, sort of on the comp, because I like to take Lee on certain spots, and I think today was really good, so yeah.
오늘은 좀 평범했던 것 같아서 한 8점 정도 주고 싶다고 하는데요. 오늘 보통같이 좋은 경기력이 나왔다면 사실은 리신으로 거의 뭐 1대9도 할 수 있고 너무 잘 컸기 때문에 한 20분대에서 경기를 끝낼 수도 있었을 텐데 사실은 리신이 너무 잘 큰 나머지 나 너무 센데 나 진짜 아무나 다 1대9 해도 이기겠는데 라는 생각에 조금 더 긴장을 해서 게임이 좀 빨리 끝나지 못한 부분은 아쉬워서 한 8점 정도 주고 싶다고 합니다. 정말 좋은 경기력이 나올 때는 9점, 10점 경기력도 나오기도 한다고 하는데 특히나 리신 같은 경우에는 본인이 선호하는 그런 조합 카운터가 있다고 합니다. 특정 조합이나 특정 조합 상대로 리신 굉장히 좋은 픽인 것 같다 해서 꺼내들게 되는데 오늘 경기도 그런 부분에 해당되었다고 합니다. 그리고 최근 설문조사에서 존경하는 선수로 인생님을 뽑아주셨는데요. 인생님의 어떤 점이 호세디오도 선수의 마음을 사로잡았는지 여쭤보겠습니다. And in a recent kind of Q&A, you said the league pro you look up to is Insect. What about Insect captivated you?
Well, when I was younger, you know, League was a game that where mechanics were like super low. So when somebody did something like Insect, it was like really like exciting to watch. So back then, when I was like 14, I remember watching him playing Fiddlesticks in Worlds. I think he was in semifinals against, I don't remember the team. But I don't know, I realized he was playing Fiddlesticks, but he also played Lee Sin, and I followed him throughout the tournament. And I really like his game style and how he played the games. And since I was younger, you know, every mechanic that I see was like crazy. So I don't know. I really love Insect when I was younger, and he really made me play Lee Sin throughout all my career. So yeah.
Was your Lee as good as he's Lee Sin today?
Maybe. I hope.
사실은 어렸을 때 이제 롤을 보면서 그 당시에는 이제 제가 14살이었는데 그렇게 선수들의 피지컬 같은 게 매우 뛰어나진 않았다고 생각했는데 그래서 피지컬이 매우 뛰어난 그런 선수들을 보면 많이 매료되었다고 합니다. 그리고 그 당시에 가장 기억에 났던 점은 인색 선수의 그런 피지컬뿐만 아니라 월드 4강에서 피들스틱도 꺼내고 리신도 꺼내서 좋은 모습을 보여주었는데 그런 화려한 모습이 나올 때마다 와 너무 잘한다 싶었고 정말 그 월드 내내 인색 선수의 경기력을 쭉 챙겨봤고 그 덕분에 리신도 이렇게 잘하게 된 것 같다고 하는데요. 그래서 오늘 본인의 리신이 인색 선수의 리신만큼 훌륭했다고 생각하냐고 여쭤보니 어쩌면 거의 같은 레벨이었을 것 같다고 합니다. 그렇다면 이 인터뷰를 굉장히 흐뭇하게 보고 계실 인색님에게 혹시 인색킥과 함께 샤라웃 한번 부탁드려도 될지 여쭤보겠습니다. I think Insect must be really happy watching this interview. Would you like to give him a shout out while doing the iconic Insect kick?
Yeah, like a cool. Thank you, Insect.
Amazing. 이제 내일 브래켓 스테이지로 가는 최종 관문입니다. 다시 만나는 T1 상대로 어느 부분이 가장 중요할 것 같으신지 여쭤보겠습니다. And tomorrow will be the final gate to the bracket stage. In a rematch up against T1, what do you think will be the most important?
Well, I think it's important that we learn about our mistakes against T1. I think the way they play the game is super aggressive and they're really fast on the map. So I think if we try to match their style and try to match their tempo, we should be better than last time. But we know that they're the highest or the hardest team in this plane. So yeah, we just have to have a good day and we have to keep going through our tempo and we should be fine.
T1 같은 팀은 정말 매우 공격적이면서도 맵 전역으로 굉장히 빠르게 굴리는 팀인데 저번 실수를 통해서 우리가 어떤 점을 더 나아질 수 있을지 파악하는 게 굉장히 중요한 것 같다고 합니다. 상대방의 굉장히 빠른 템포에 말리지 않고 우리만의 게임 템포를 쫓아가고 또 경기장에 온 당일 좋은 컨디션을 유지하며 우리의 게임을 펼쳐줄 수 있다면 또 좋은 결과가 나올 수도 있을 것 같다고 합니다. 여기까지가 팀 리퀴드 에일리언웨어의 호세 디오도 선수였습니다. Thank you very much and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, G-Sun and Jose Diego. I love the shout out to Insect. But of course, we are now joined by the victorious Spawn, who told us that he was undefeated, who told us that he would win.
The slow clap.
I think it's a fast clap. Why do we need a slow clap? Good job.
Let's go!
Bro. Oh my God.
That's my GOAT. That was a good solid high five too.
Yeah, sorry, Draco, so we had to do you like that.
I know, you don't have to hold back. Don't hold back on my account. I need you to tell it like it is.
I mean, I did tell everyone that I have never lost to Europe because I haven't had the honor of playing G2. So that's the goal, to get the G2 matchup, because that's like, when I first took over as head coach, I said, like, we want to build Team Liquid into a dynasty like G2 is in Europe. Yeah. That's always been the goal. I think so far I'm not doing that, so let's not get too ahead of us, but we haven't lost to anyone else from Europe and didn't plan on doing it today.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys played really well. One thing I really wanted to ask you about is, we were just talking about this a bit, but like, I feel as though Morgan in NA had been playing just like, he's been playing well, but he hasn't been dominating. He's been playing more weak side, kind of playing tanks and so on. What has happened from him to in NA, from him here? You know, it's like Doran, he's chain solo killing Doran. He's solo killing Kana after getting cheese level 1 in the counter matchup. Like, this guy is playing the team fights insane. Like, what has happened? He is just playing with so much confidence.
Yeah, I think we had this issue when we brought the team together, is everyone was like, oh, Yon can carry, and then Yon saying, oh, but Quid, when I played against him on 100 Thieves, he was a huge carry, and Morgan's like, you know, this is how I'm known to play the game, as more a supporting role. And I think that even though we were super talented, we were just doing just enough to do our job and then expecting it to come together. But we've had a lot of conversations about breaking those molds and just, if you can take over a game, just take over a game. There was even a time in Jose's Lee Sin game where Quid was like, hey, why don't you give me that kill? And Jose's like, just get on the train, buddy. Like, shut up and get on the train. Like, I've taken this one home. So that has to be everyone's mentality.
Yeah.
Like, if you have an opportunity to carry a game, you got to pop off. And I think that Morgan's doing that really well.
I feel like in the T1 series, you had really good preparation, good drafts, good game plan, but just weren't able to get over the finish line, especially in like that game 2. How do you feel about going into the rematch against them, and how do you feel about how what were the failings for the team in the first matchup?
Yeah, I mean, arguably, if you look at our international history with this roster, T1 is actually our rival. Like, MSI were able to take a game. EWC, we arguably should have beaten them. We're up 6,500 gold in the deciding matchup. Yesterday, it felt, a couple of days ago, it felt like we really let ourselves down because, like, we were so prepared for them. And I think that the reality is when you play these teams, we've watched 100 times more VODs of T1 than T1 has watched of TL. So we should be super prepared and we should know what's happening. And, you know, game 2, I think we should have won that game, but we let it slip. And then game 3, we could have won that game. So to not convert either of them, it just really felt like we let ourselves down, and we're super hungry because of it.
So I know you're not the on-stage drafting coach now, but talk to me a bit about drafting, because I feel like everyone I've talked to has been very impressed with your preparation, not only against T1, but also here. You guys are going in with a lot of the different looks. You know, I remember we had talked at one point in NA, and you had talked about how, you know, we just need to get us a 50-50 draft because we have good players, and like then we're expected to win from there. You're bringing out Yasuo mid, Yasuo top. You're bringing out Olaf in situations where we haven't seen it from you before. You're bringing out the mages bot. You guys feel like you've unlocked a new level of flexibility. So kind of talk to me about what's going on there.
Yeah, 100%. You know, credit to Spooks. When I brought him on this year, I thought that drafting is one of his strengths, and then his job is to really prepare our drafts and what we want to do. And then my job is to tell the team what the enemy is going to draft in response to that. So, for example, I knew who was going to play the Anivia today. It's something that he's been really famous for, so we have to have a pick in mind for that coming into the draft. So I think it's working really well at this tournament. I think that Spooks and Hatham are going above and beyond in their preparation, and I think that this is something that the flexibility and, you know, I got flamed for it a little bit, but that enjoyment of the game, it's like, no, if it's a time to play Yasuo, we should not be like, oh, no one else plays Yasuo. It's like, no, just pick the Yasuo. Morgan played at top. We've played at mid now. Like, this is something that we want to be known for, and there's a couple more picks coming, so hopefully we get to show them off.
Oh, a couple more picks coming.
Yeah.
Look, I'm ready to see that kind of diversity, but I'm curious for you. You've already had this series against T1 where you showed good looks, but the transition wasn't quite there. Super dominant series, kind of as expected against DCG, and now this KC series, which I think was far and away more one-sided than most fans would have expected. What do you credit to the rapid growth in performance at this tournament? Is it just getting comfortable on the stage? Is it more that there were just a couple fumbles here and there on the first day? Why are we seeing this? It feels like the acceleration for TL. You mentioned the Morgan performance. What is making it all come together here?
I just think we have a different definition of like what the expected results are. I don't think North America has lost to a non-G2 European team in a couple of years. So I think we came into the team as heavy
against them at MSI.
Yeah.
Last
I'm more
years.
concerned about the 3-0. I'm not afraid to lose, but the 3-0.
Didn't we also sweep Fnatic when we played them at EWC? Didn't we also beat them like handedly when we played against them? FlyQuest has had their number as well. Lions look pretty good. So I just think right now, outside of G2, NA is better than Europe. And I think that now we have to prove that we can go with the big boys as well. The thing that I admire so much about G2 is they have taken that next step, that when they play against the #1 and #2 seeds from LCK and LPL, that you think that they could be the favorites in those series. And that's what we got to start doing. So, you know, Lion got to get on their bike, and we got to do it for the LCS. I always say, when we play these series, now we got to take all of this back to the LCS and level our region up and restore that pride. And that's all the players are trying to do. That's all what the coaches are trying to do. We want people to think that, you know, we are the
speaking to my heart.
I mean, there's not a lot to add after that. There's an inspirational message. I'm glad, as a caveat, I get a little bit of G2 in there, as a little bit of copium. But that's kind of the thing that I want, you know, for my entirety of my region too. I don't want to be the one team region, but glad to have the one team that's at least leading the way or setting an example. Speaking of playing a little bit better, one man who probably could not have played better because he just played so fantastically was Jose Diodo. We heard an interview, but in our HyperX replay, Jose shows once again why his Lee Sin keeps getting banned against Team Liquid Alienware.
Yeah, I mean, the kid's a freak on Lee Sin. Like, I actually was watching his videos in the off-season, and I was like, oh my goodness. His Lee Sin is actually next level, and he has such an aura of confidence on himself when he plays. Like, every single fight, he's like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this in 60 seconds. Match my tempo, we will win the game. And everyone just aligns with it and makes the game so easy.
And I think one of the things I love watching is that he forces the fights, right? He does not wait for them to come to him when he gets an advantage. He's playing in the opponent's face all the time. This is one of the only times I have felt like, as an LCS pundit, watching a player where I don't need to give a qualifier on how good they are. Like, he is one of the best Lee Sins in the world, period, right?
Yeah,
it's not like in the league, it's not in the West, in the world, period. This guy is just different on this champion.
Yeah, and I mean, his confidence level and understanding on how to win the game with it as well is just on that next level. So every player, I feel like, gets to pro with that thing, and sometimes they lose it. So, you know, Quid on Rise, Jose on Lee Sin, like Yun on Varus, I think is one of those picks when Varus is in the meta. So I think that, you know, Core on Rakan, can't leave that one out. He won a World Championship with it. But there's these championship, players that have these champions that if they are open, you just listen to them and they can win you the game.
I feel like that's a big thing with Fearless also being in play, is that you only get like one chance at a series to play it out. How do you feel like that impacts, and like trusting your players to have the confidence, this is the spot where we want to bring it out?
Yeah, I mean, it's really fun, to be honest, because, like, you know, I've actually made this mistake before where like teams open the suite against you and you just pick your best champion every role and then you show up to the second game draft and you're like, now what? So like it kind of falls off a cliff from there. And I think credit to teams, they've gotten much better at like, if this person plays, you know, Azir really well, okay, well, I'm going to get my mid laner to the point where he can actually take it away game one, you know, give us a fighting chance, and then they lose one of their weapons for the rest of the series. So Fearless is super fun as a coach. It's something you have to take into account a lot.
Something I'm really looking forward to seeing tomorrow, I think. Well, wait, I don't want to do predictions yet.
The Team Liquid victory, me too.
Team Liquid victory.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
At this point, I do actually want that, because then I could, it wipes away the pain of the shame. Like, they beat T1, of course. They were just naturally
They're just the goats.
to win
What
it
can
all.
you do?
T1, who you also got 3 like.
All right, Ox. I get it. You can cast the LCK. You have a fun thing. But here we're going to take one final look at the bracket. KC now eliminated alongside DCG, Team Liquid, Alienware, and T1, the last 2 teams remaining. And we'll just have to see tomorrow how it unfolds. But I'm definitely feeling a lot more optimistic after the first series. There was some skepticism, but coming into the second series, I'm feeling pretty good about Team Liquid Alienware.
And look, we know we have a huge journey ahead of us. Like, we're confident going into the series because we did play well versus them. But this is a team that is the greatest organization in League of Legends history. And they have some of the greatest players in League of Legends history on there as well. But we have to make sure that we respect them enough that we know that we need to play well. But then we need to go out there and actually play well and do ourselves proud. So that's what the goal is tomorrow. And if you can kill their Nexus once, which we've done in the past, no reason you can't do it 3 times in a day. You just need to make sure that you play really, really well. So that's where the confidence is coming from, but it's hard.
I feel like an additional thing is obviously when we saw there'd only be 1 team coming out of play-ins for every other team in T1, that was a lot of pressure. But also now for them, if it was 2 teams making out, T1 would have already qualified, and they now don't have double elim, which is, I know this is a team that performs really well under pressure, but there's the chance to take them down here.
Yeah, there is. That is true. There is a chance to take them down here, and we got to play well to do it. They do get from the upper bracket. I really like what Riot has done at the moment for upper bracket, actually giving you both side and pick select for the time being, because it actually feels like coming through the upper bracket has like meaningful impact, whereas in the past it hasn't necessarily always been the case. So game 1's going to be an uphill battle for us. I think blue side first pick has like 58% win rate or something like that. So they get that in game number 1, and we have to try and take it away from them afterwards.
It's a tall task. I just can't wait to see how it unfolds, and can't wait to see what some of those new picks are that you've been talking about. We'll see if we actually get to see them on stage for tomorrow, but that's going to be it for us here today. Back tomorrow with T1 versus Team Liquid Alienware. Games start at 10 a.m. CEST, 1 a.m. PST. That's enough from us here. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you then.
I'm coming this side.
I can over mid one.
I'm here too.
Yeah, I'm matching through. I'm matching it.
I give you a Z.
Yeah, I want to fight here.
Yeah,
I want to fight here.
I'm watching.
I'm looking good, no?
Look, Zodiac.
Okay, good. Alisa on flash too. Alisa on flash. I'm watching Alisa. I will block.
Can an ulti. Keep going.
Already good. We can go.
Another 3-0 as Team Liquid destroy KC.